Hello and welcome everyone to Octane Online Racing, and we're back with the Sprint Series once again, sponsored by Simrigs.com, and we're going to be having a bit of fun tonight because we've got two splits for you. We had the Spec Series running last night, which is a one-make series, all 5 rounds, and we're going to be following the same pattern here at the Sprint Series. We've got round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As a little bit of a nice intermediary transition in the December period here. So get ready, get buckled in, because we're going to be having a bit of fun out there on track. And yeah, the fun, so to speak, has begun, because out there it is quite wet, as you can see. My name is George Cook, broadcasting today. Doing an ever amazing job is Glenn, and he might be even joining in the role of David Crofty. We will see, but currently I'll be sitting in the comms box by myself, surrounded by screens, and enjoying myself here. So a couple of housekeeping items as we do kick off qualifying for this. Of course, this is the Sprint Series here for 5 rounds. Season 16 of the Sprint Series will actually begin in January next year. Towards the end of January, we'll have 8 rounds there with a drop round as well, which is very exciting. And also, we've got the LFM bot applied, not only here for the Sprint Series that you're seeing today and for the next 5 weeks, but also for Season 16. So we're very excited about that. I'll be talking a little bit about how the bot works. I've got some stats for everyone. Not stats, just information really at the end of the day. But it's been good so far, and I think we're going to see a continued use of that through here at OOR. So a couple of housekeeping items. Like I said, Simrigs.com, our sponsor, of course. And if you are an OOR Patreon, then you do get 5% off in their store online, which is fantastic. Take advantage of that, and it always helps when you guys support us. So thank you to all our Patreons out there. We're streaming to you live today on Twitch and YouTube. So thank you, Twitch, for finally changing your rules around that. Having yesterday's broadcast and previous broadcasts as well on both platforms, which is very, very nice. Welcome in to everyone in both chats. Of course, I'll be calling out comments, so feel free to ask me anything. It's not an AMA, it's not a real AMA, but feel free to ask any questions that you do have, and I'll see if I can answer those questions. Joe Van Lee asking, Crofty? Yes, maybe the real Crofty, we'll see. Unfortunately, that's not been arranged, but we will have a sort of a duplicate, a clone of David Croft, so to speak, a man who knows his information and can analyze things very, very well. But nonetheless, some more information, of course, on the Sprint Series. We do have the choice of cars here is absolutely everything that you want. And interestingly, because of the LFM bot that we have applied, that means there's a really, really wide, diverse range of cars out there, and some familiar names on track as well. So we've got Aston Martin V8 Vantages out there. We've got Audi R8 LMS Evo 2s. We've got Bentley Continental GT3s, very appropriate in this kind of weather to get the Boatley out. Of course, BMW M4s out there today, Ferrari 296s. No one's in the 488, which makes a lot of sense if you ask me. And we've got one chap who's decided that the Honda NSX Evo is the right car today. Some Huracans out there, some Lamborghinis, some McLaren 720S Evos, Mercedes AMG GT3. We're going to have a Nissan GTR Nismo out there, but unfortunately the person who's decided to choose that has not attended tonight. And then, of course, the Porsche 992 as well. So it's going to be a nice mix up the grid. Lovely to see the Astons and the Boatleys back in things at the moment. And the Honda as well, actually, because that's not a super popular car. So speaking of which, in terms of people we've got out there, familiar names, we're on board with Stephen Ty at the moment, rocking that Rocket Evolved livery in his Audi R8 and looking very, very good at the moment. He's on his top lap at the moment. We'll see there's about 8 minutes left in qualifying, 15 minutes qualifying, and then we'll have a 60-minute race with 1 mandatory pit stop as well. So make sure you look forward to that, because a bit of strategy in the wet always makes for a bit of fun. I was actually going to talk long about the fact that the tyres here in dry conditions do tend to suffer, and there's lots of curbs to ride. So we'll talk about the curbs, because that certainly throws a spanner in the works in terms of where these cars can drive on track. You see Stephen Ty there was taking a lot of curb, which is exactly what you need to do. But just looking around the grid, we've got McDonald in here today, we've got Grant Begg in there, we've got Samuel in here today as well, we've got Joshua and Ashley Vediger, We've got Herod in as well, which is nice. Hignett is in there. He was the car that you saw spinning earlier on in the Boatley. He was doing some very nice donuts there in the pit lane. Got the likes of Scardy, got Kwan in there, Harris Smith, Lewis. I won't read out absolutely everyone, but there's about 32 people on the grid right now, which is 33, correction, 33 on the grid right now. So that's all looking very good. Very healthy grid size here for the Sprint Series today. So look at that beautiful manufacturer spread. Yes, exactly, that's what we're talking about. It's nice to see the manufacturers return, especially the likes of the Bentley, the Aston, the Honda, as I was saying before. Very, very nice indeed. And I can give you a little bit of information, actually, about why this has ended up happening, as we do have an invalidation there, unfortunately, for Brad Cook in his NSX. That's a bit unfortunate for him, but he will find some more lap time. He's got a car behind him. A little bit close quarters here in qualifying at Imola. Of course, I didn't mention that. We're at Imola, just in case you didn't notice. We are at the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Eddio Ferrari. It's a 3-mile, 4.9-kilometer circuit, founded in 1953. Bologna, Italy is where we are. That's where this track is, in Imola. 19 corners, got 8 to the right, 11 to the left, and a 34-meter elevation change as well. And coming in from Riddle time, good luck to all. Yes, good luck to everyone out there, because they're going to need it in these conditions. Staying on board with Brad Cook, he'll be on a valid lap next lap, so we'll keep an eye and see if he's able to improve. You've got 2 splits today, of course, to watch. You've got Split Blue, which is happening now, and then later on, we'll be joined in the commentary box by a couple of others, and we will proceed to watch Split Red, so return of the lovely Split Blood, which we all absolutely love. Out of the pits and currently in the lead in terms of qualifying right now, it is Joshua Verga. He's still sporting that amazing livery. I absolutely love this. He was using this in season 15 of the Sprint Series, the Zero Sugar Coca-Cola. And his father, Ashley Verga, usually runs the with sugar. So there we go, some good rules being set down by Ashley, making sure Joshua is not drinking too much sugar. And very, very important, of course, keep those sugars down as much as possible. Good for the teeth, good for the dentist build, among others. Bob now has just gone to the top as well, 47.512 there for him in the Porsche. So the Porsches are looking fairly strong out here at the moment in the wet. Which is, I wouldn't say a surprise, might be a surprise to some, but the drivers in those cars are obviously very, very strong. So Sean Bubb now up there, top spot. Joshua Verga in P2 at the moment. Stephen Ty did manage to get himself a good lap in that Audi R8 LMS, and he's sitting about 2/10 behind these two chaps at the top, but only 58 hundredths of a second separating first from second, and on board with Bubb now, who is going faster at the moment. Good to see. 4.5 minutes left in this qualifying session, and he's found a 10th out there on track. Doing very, very well at the minute. So, like I said, will be interesting with the LFM BOP here. It has proved to be very, very effective so far. The likes of the Aston, the Bentley, I should say, making bigger waves than others, I think, at this stage, which has been, I think, yeah, interesting. Oh, that's going to be going off track. Sean Bubb now, not happy with that. So he will return to the pits, and he'll get another lap started shortly, I'm sure. Lovely livery on that Porsche as well. Really like the subtle tones. And here we are with Samuel in the McLaren 720S Evo. Very nice here. So, for example, the McLaren itself has got a 35 kg ballast on it. The Porsche, who we just saw Sean Bubb now driving, 1 kg negative, so it's been a negative ballast there for the 992. And the Audi R8 LMS has got 23 kgs of ballast. Aston Martin, though, 8 kgs lighter, as well as the Boatley, who's 40 kgs lighter. So the Boatley really being brought back into things with this new LFM BOP. Craig Dale in chat saying, evening team. Good evening, Dale. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope everyone's doing well in chat, of course. Here's Washington. This is a nice time for the silver class drivers. If you're not familiar with the category structure that we use here at OOR in our Sprint Series, we do have 4 categories. We've got the Pro category for the top drivers. Then we've got the Silver category for the drivers just underneath. Then the Pro-Am category. So that's the black labels you'll see on the bottom left. And then finally the AM class, the red labels. So our amateur class drivers, some of which will be fresh out of the Rookie Series, which has also started up again. They had their race on Tuesday at Imola as well. And for those of you who were fortunate enough to tune in, Mia Rose did a track guide as well for everyone in the Rookie Series, which I'm sure that a lot of people appreciated. But Washington here, the 500 car, doing very, very nicely, excuse me, has found himself up by 1/10 of a second. As we do go through part of the trickiest part of the circuit here. It's the Variante Alta, corners 14 and 15. Now heading down towards Rivasa. I always get this corner name wrong, but Rivasa, you've got to go up and over the hill here, then into the final part of the track. Big braking zone, then a double corner essentially. That's a locking wheel there on the inside left. Front left locks up, but does get through smoothly. Keeps the time as well, up by 12 hundredths of a second at the moment. So this could be a pretty decent lap here. Let's see, across the line he goes. It's going to be a 47. Yes, it is. Good enough for 6th position. So it drops Stephen Ty down into P7, and now up there with Eric Scardi. And Eric Scardi done very well as well there. So both in the Aston Martin. And this is a beautiful Aston Martin livery. Absolutely love this. Not quite sure what the colors are there from. They're reminiscent of the Olympic Games. Now back on board with Joshua Vediger, the 999 car Porsche. Hignett has managed to find his way up there into P2, but look at how much time Vediger has found already. He was up by 2/10 of a second, but that was through Tozer. Now he's got to navigate the trickiest part of the circuit. Piratella coming up now is going through then at the moment. Got to be careful on those curves. You can see how squiggly the car got. Really hard to put the power down, and that's lost him, unfortunately, quite a lot of time. See how he goes into Acqua Minerale. We go. Very clean through there. So Joshua Vediger showing his driving skills once again. He's very strong in the wet. We've seen him in the wet in the previous season, season 15, where he did incredibly well. Unfortunately not able to attend some of the races towards the end of the season, and that unfortunately did cost him in the battle he was going with Jamie Comboy and Ethan Cale. He was actually going very well. He was leading the championship in season 15 for quite some time, but unfortunately for him, he just wasn't able to attend enough races, and by the end he was sort of put out of contention. But a third overall for him, so definitely nothing to scoff at at the end of the day. He hasn't really found much time as he's gone through the last couple of corners. Over the line he'll come 0.08 of a second, nearly 1/10 of a second as he comes across the line. That will be good enough for pole position though. That's a very tidy lap at the end of the day, even though it wasn't particularly clean through Minerale, but that'll mean he's got another go at it with 9 seconds left on the clock. So he will get one more lap, but for everyone else, 5 seconds to go, and that will be end of their qualifying very, very soon. And we've got JC in the chat saying, glad Josh has sorted his hardware out. Haha. That might be why he was unable to attend the final parts of season 15. Of course, JC, if you don't know, Jamie Comboy, champion season 15 in Split Blue, so another congratulations to him, of course, in that battle. It was epic. Now, that's a lot of time he's gained there, but I think he's going to lose it on exit because it was a bit wide through the apex of the corner, so not ideal there for Joshua Vediger. He's only holding on to pole by 35 hundredths of a second, but his nearby competitors have all gone into the pits. Bub now in P2, P3 for Hignett. We've got Lee there, Aaron Lee. Silver driver, he's gone and done a great time, but he's in the pits too. So is Scarney. Stephen Ty is in the pits too. Washington, the only one out on track now. Joshua Vediger calls it a day after making that mistake. Will return to the pits for now. Catching up on a few comments here. LFM bop, a new thing. It is, so there's a new bop, Joven Lee, new bop that was produced by Low Fuel Motorsports, and we have adopted that bop. They decided to publish the bop, which is excellent, and that's really equaled things up. Down on his time at the moment is Washington. Can he find some time through Variante Alta? Doesn't look like he has. In fact, he's lost a little bit of time there on exit, so this is probably not going to be an improvement on his lap time at this stage of the race, but we'll keep an eye on him as he comes through Rivasa for the final time in this qualifying. Might be one of the last cars, third to last car, in fact, coming across the line. It's a beautiful livery, I have to admit. It looks very, very nice with all those shapes. No, he's going to come into the pits. So he's realized that lap is unfortunately a little bit foregone, and he has decided to forgo that. And that is our qualifying. Very nice. Good job in the wet from all our drivers. Lots of yellow flags out there, but no real surprise about that at the end of the day. Very tricky conditions out there with so many curbs to ride around this track. I mean, you've got Variante Alta, even Minerale, high-speed corners like Piratella, and of course on the exit of Variante Tamburello in Turn 4. Very, very tricky to get right in the wet, and especially when you have to ride the curbs. So everyone's done a very, very good job out there today, but we will go for a grid walk at some point soon. Catching up on a few more comments here. Paul Britt in chat as well, saying they would be the colours of Benetton George. I see, okay. I felt like I recognised it, so that does explain it. Thank you, Paul. Firelord Racing also in chat saying going to have to start that Sean Pro Now campaign again. Yes, and I might also restart the old Scani for Pro Championship as well. But Sean Bubb now, P2. I mean, it's a great result for him. It was a good lap time out there, and he was really, really close to the top spot as well. Joshua Vediger, I think, was only about 25 hundredths of a second away from that, losing the top spot there. So Sean Bubb now put in a great, great effort. He's top of silver class. Then we've got Aaron Lee in P4. P5 is Eric Scarney. We're going to go through the grid now, which is definitely going to show off some of these beautiful, beautiful liveries. Of course, in the Sprint Series, you're allowed to bring your own custom liveries, which is awesome because you absolutely love seeing what people come up with. So starting out here, we do have Joshua Vediger on the right-hand side, followed by Sean Bubb now on the left. Beautiful. I love this livery. I love the blue and the white. Absolutely stunning work there from this man, the 165 Porsche. Looking very, very healthy. And then a Boatley. It's a Boatley. Look, there it is. It's on the grid. It's in P3. It's Benjamin Hignett. He's done well. Got that thing in the appropriate conditions, I think. Then we've got Aaron Lee, P4 overall. Done well. Another Porsche on the line there. Then Eric Scarney. So there's the Aston. This is the effect of the LFM BOP here. It really does bring these cars back in. And we've got to take a look at Scarney's livery here. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This is a throwback to James Bond right here. The man who can cut a statue in half with his hat. Absolutely killer. I absolutely love it. Actually, I think that might be Austin Powers now that I think about it. But nonetheless, here we go. The Benetton George colours on the side here for the 500 car. Washington in P6. Stephen Ty in his Audi R8 there. The 230 car looking very healthy as well. Then we've got Raiden Shogun here, a name that I'm not familiar with, but another nice livery there. Mercedes on the grid. Great to see. Then Brad Cook in his Honda NSX. Absolutely. Oddball from Goldfinger. Yes, see, I knew the name, but then I mixed it up with the Austin Powers one where he is chopping things in half with his hat, and I think that might be the same. Anyway, moving rapidly along before I embarrass myself any further. Matthew Herod in P10, followed by Shady Samuel P11, Benjamin Piper in P12, Robert Maddox in P13, then Nicholas Macbeth over there. Tom McDonald, just on your right there at the moment, going past us, is in P15. Aaron Muriel in P16. Grant Begg down there in P17. And look at the spray. You've got to absolutely love it. Is it Odd Job? Yeah, it's Odd Job. Oddball is not correct. Yeah, that's right. Oddball is a Halo game mode. There we go. I'm not the only one getting confused. Thank goodness for that. P18 goes to Gabriel Salvaggio, who's actually been racing in some overseas leagues that I've been commentating on as well. So nice to see him back here for the Australian OOR leagues. Aaron Slade in P19, Ashley Johnston, P20, P21, Ashley Vediger, P22, Steve Lewis. And then we've got Wilk Apreciado there in P22, Lee Perkins in P23, Alfred Dian Rama in P24. We do have Rusty Shackelford, lovely name, P25. Neil Wood in P26. P27 is Daniel Kwan. Trent Callahan in P28. Hayden Marsh, good friend of mine and an epic livery maker as well. P29 for him. P30 to Mark Smith. And, oh, we've got a little bit of a switch up the grid here. Uh-oh. I'll call out these last two names. Bailey Ryan, P31, P32 for Giles Stratford. And unfortunately, Sean Bubb now has returned to the pits. Oh, dear. Right. So he might have been messing with a livery there or something like that. That is super unfortunate. Sean Bubb now for Pro campaign has not gotten off to a good start here at all. We've also got Law MRT in chat saying, look at that Boatley go. And yes, look at that Boatley go. There's another car off there. So some oddball things. You see what I did there? Some oddball things happening out on track. We've got P2 back to the pits, and we've got a car off as well. So not ideal there, but we're coming in through Alta now, P4, turn 14 and 15. They will line up side by side momentarily, and I will draw everyone's attention now to the fact that in 30 minutes we have dry weather on the horizon, so this is going to get very interesting as the conditions do start to switch up in the middle of this race. Thank you, Edmund, for Weather Randomness 7. You've got to absolutely love it. And those windshield wipers will not be going on for too long. So time your pit stop well, 60-minute race. Some will choose to half the strategy. 30 minutes on wets and then switching over to a dry strategy. The question is, how dry is it going to be when they inevitably do those pit stops? So we will be led away, of course, by Joshua Vediger, but here, start of the new Sprint Series here, brought to you by OOR, Octane Online Racing, and Simrigs. We are going to be getting started in just a second with our green flag. Mixed conditions here at Imola for round 1 of 5, and we're about to get the green flag out on track. Really looking forward to seeing what all of these drivers can do here today. 33 drivers on the track and about to go racing here. It's a lovely, lovely circuit. If you haven't driven here, you absolutely must go there soon. Green flags are out, lights are out, 59 minutes now on the clock, 60 minutes to go, of course. As you know, 3 p.m. track temperature out there. Looks like a good start from everyone. Big crash there, though. That is a big crash. A Mercedes spinning into the first corner. Hignett does manage to get ahead in the Bentley immediately. Aaron Lee chasing up now, but he's been overtaken by Scardy, who moves up to P3, and that is a safety car. That is almost certainly a safety car. Yes, the drivers appear to have slowed down on the track. We do have a car that looks like they're beached somewhere just before Millerali as well, the 33 car there. But that almost certainly is a safety car out on track. So virtual safety car, of course. Turn 1 chaos, says Sage. Yep, that's absolutely right. Firelord putting the emojis in chat. Safety car. Sean Muller in chat as well. Hello, Sean. Lovely to see you in here. Safety car is outside. So this is a virtual safety car for those of you who are unfamiliar with the format that we chose. We used to actually have a safety car that drove around the track, but became a fairly cumbersome thing, unfortunately. So we've gone with a virtual safety car approach where the leader will drive us away. And that is the 33 car on the right-hand side of your screen that you just see there. So who is that? Let me try and find out who that is. But it looks like they may have had some sort of hardware disconnect of some kind or another. They are well out of it. That's Leah Perkins there, the 33 car. Yeah, Lee. So Lee's had a problem there. Might be a hardware issue. Not able to reset back to the pits at the moment, unfortunately. So this is going to introduce another element here. Let's just put it that way. Another element here onto this. Likely the caution will be reset, so we will potentially get this car either back to the pits or out of the way. But at the moment, that will be a Sector 2 yellow down there on the track. The safety car, of course, is going to end at the end of this lap, we think. And that'll mean we do end up getting racing. So hopefully we don't see too many more antics here down at turn 1, because that was a pretty scary crash there for the Mercedes driver. And I'll try and find out who that was. I think it was the 38 car. We'll try and find out exactly who was involved in that. So yes, that was a 38 car. Raiden Shogun had a massive issue there, whether it was some sort of a collision or something like that. And we are racing again. So here we go. Let's try it again. Split blue. Split blue, of course, being cursed by the weather more often than not. But away we are led by Hignett now for 57 minutes remaining. And looks like it's a clean getaway from everyone. Of course, single file is the modus operandi for safety car restarts. And that has happened nice and cleanly. Bit of a wider line there taken by Hignett. And Vediger will be looking to catch up as soon as possible. There's Scardy. So Scardy has managed to find his way up early on, getting the overtake done on Aaron Lee. So Scardy will be leading us away in terms of the silver class at the moment. Muriel down in P14 leads us in Pro-Am class. And then Shackelford leads us in the Am class drivers. Of course, we still do have, I believe, 33 on track. But with that car that's beached, I don't know. It doesn't look like there's been a yellow out there. Looks like the 33 has managed to reset to the pits. That is good news. That means we don't have a yellow out on track. And the 33 of Lee has restarted the race, which is good. So that's ideal. We've got some comments in the chat asking about grid boxes and penalties. We'll leave that one for the stewards. We're not 100% sure. Of course, the drivers are instructed to drive through their pit boxes on the main start of the race. But on the safety car restart, it's just single file. There is no grid box to drive through, essentially, at that stage. Look at these cars and the way they move into Ravaza there. Hard on the brakes, down the hill, but also still turning. It means the car does get very, very light at that stage, especially in the wet. Very difficult for these drivers to control, but so far, everyone getting away nice and cleanly on this. Now, officially, technically, the first lap of this race is now complete. Second lap, of course, in 55 minutes left to go in this race. Hignett remains in the lead of this race and is looking to be pulling a little bit of a gap there to Joshua Vedega. He hasn't got them necessarily the best run down the final straight to Varianta Bassa. But he's got Scani behind. Scani is a pretty fierce contender. That Aston Martin is looking, very good with the livery. Absolutely love the livery that Scani's put together here. But at the same time, it's looking very, very quick, which is no surprise given that it's got a -8 ballast adjustment. So it is a little bit lighter than it has been for a long time by in terms of the default BOP there. So it's definitely one to keep an eye on, as is the Boatley. So the Boatley, if you can handle it, that's the question though. 10 minutes out, we've got drier weather, so the rain will stop in about 10 minutes. And the question is, in 25-degree track temperature, how quickly are we going to have this track dry out? We've got a couple of comments there from Chris Taylor too about the sound. I might redirect our broadcaster Glenn's attention to that in chat, just in case there's a little bit of an issue. But regardless, the audio, you should still be able to hear cars go. So that's the important thing. As long as you're hearing cars out on track, and my unfortunate British accent, and then you're all good to go at the end of the day. This is a good lead here. Hignett is really putting on some time here at the moment. This is going to be really, really good if the Boatley can manage to make its way and pull out a gap. At the moment, being 1.3 seconds ahead. That means he's out of the range for the Porsche behind to get any kind of slipstream. Not that that's a massive effect here. There's no DRS here. It's not Formula 1. Although the slipstream, it definitely does exist. And the gap between Vedega and Scani, looks like Scani maybe didn't get the best run out of the last corner of turn 18 of Rivasa. And that has put him about a second and just a little bit, actually, 1.1 seconds now behind Joshua Vedega. Now getting under a little bit of pressure from Aaron Lee. So those two are fighting. Scani and Lee are fighting for the silver class at the moment. Washington in P3 for the silver class. P3 for our pro drivers is Stephen Ty, who's actually had a really good start out on the grid there. He's now up into P5, so he has gained a position already in this race and is now hunting down Aaron Lee to see if he can make a move happen. We know, of course, Stephen Ty, very, very fast driver, absolutely knows what he's doing out there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did see Aaron Lee and probably Scani as well coming under a lot of pressure from Stephen Ty later in this day. Through Miller Raleigh we go once again. Very tricky part of the circuit here. Some fast left-handers, fast right-hander. Be careful on that curb. You see Scani there taking probably a little bit more curb than you'd probably want to see. Looks like he handled it well. So no issues there for Scani, but it is bringing Aaron Lee in a little bit. So yeah, see how they have to. Whoa, that's a bit of a moment there. Nearly a tank stepper there for Scani. Does manage to hold it. That's what the curbs can do. They will rapidly take you out to the side of the circuit. They'll make that rear end of the car get very, very light, and that can be a real challenge there to handle, and especially in the wet, because usually you want to put the power down and try and get the car sort of centered again, get the weight balance back in, but unfortunately you just don't have the mechanical grip to do so in these conditions. And we do have a replay now of the start of the race. So let's take a little look at this and see what's happened down the back of the grid. So I don't think it was just the Mercedes of Lee Perkins. There's Lee Perkins in the front, but you can see the concertina effect that has happened. So probably primarily caused there. We don't quite know who's... look at it. We don't know who's to blame here. We're not going to make any judgments at the end of the day. But that is a big, big accident there. About 5 or 6 cars at least caught up in that. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a lot of the cars down the back of the grid holding quite substantial amounts of damage, something they're probably going to have to hold on to until the conditions change. The track has now gone to the damp setting. The light rain is getting even lighter as we speak. That means the dry conditions are probably just on the horizon. So we might be having to see a little bit of adjustment of strategy here for those of them out there who are on the 30-30 strategy, as in the half-half strategy. You're probably going to have to adjust your fuel here, because you're probably going to want to pit as soon as the track gets to maybe greasy if you're absolutely brave. Other than that, you might be waiting another 10 minutes or so for the track to get back to a green state. Then it'll be optimal. Get on the soft tires, or the dry tires, I should say. We don't have different compounds here in ACC. Getting my Formula 1 mixed up. I'm getting all excited about the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Don't ask me why. But it's just something about a new track and no grip just makes me quite excited about it. Anyway, I digress. So they'll be jumping on the dry tires I said it again. They'll be jumping on the dry tyres. Let me get that right this time. Sooner rather than later. That means they're going to probably want to adjust their strategy a little bit and run long. So they'll be running longer on the dry tyres in this race. Also, there is only one mandatory pit stop. So unless it rains again, this will be their one and only pit stop. They'll have to look for that transition time when the wet tyres become sub-optimum. And is that Stephen Ty in the background? Might be trying to make a move now on Aaron Lee. He's fallen quite back. There's Stephen Ty in the R8 LMS. He is going for the move and looks like he's made it work. Yes, he has. So into Tamburello. Nice move there. Great overtaking opportunity. And Stephen Ty does now take P4 away from Aaron Lee, but he's going to come back under pressure immediately from Aaron Lee. You might look to the inside line. Thinks better of it. A sensible choice because you're now in the Variante Villeneuve. Very tricky series of corners. You don't want to be going side by side through there. It lose you a lot of pace. And then into Toza. This is T7, turn 7 here. Absolutely lovely corner. Very, very slow. One of the slowest corners on there, other than maybe Alta and the final part of Minerali, turn 12. It is a very nice corner. I do love it here. I mean, let us know in chat. Do you love it, Miller? Do you love the racing? It's not one of those like you hate Paul Ricard, but you love the racing there because it's absolutely brilliant. I don't think it's one of those circuits. I think it's a circuit that you absolutely love. Looking back down the grid a little bit here, give you an update on our top 10 overall, but Samuel in a battle with Erid. Now two pro drivers. It's McLaren versus Porsche. They are rather close on track. They've got Brad Cook in his NSX ahead. So a nice little three-way battle evolving here. That NSX looks very comfortable over the curb, and the Herod in his Porsche got very squirmy on the exit of Alta there. And that's not going to help him at all in this battle. So now it really is Samuel in his 720S Evo. Let's see what he can do. Maybe he can find a way past that NSX. I have yet to drive the NSX in ACC, so I'm completely unfamiliar with how that car operates. It does look pretty stable out there at the moment. Might be helped a little bit by the BOP too, but I do know the 720S McLaren, and if you touch those curbs in the wrong way, that thing is going to orbit. A little look there from Samuel. He wants to keep. Wants to keep Brad Cook looking, and that's a bad exit for Brad Cook. That's going to be the run there. Oh, we've got a car on the outside of the track as well. Slow exit there from both Brad Cook and Samuel, but Samuel does make his way past for P7, and that did look like an Audi on the outside there. We're not quite sure who exactly that was, but luckily for them, they didn't. Luckily for all of these drivers, that Audi driver decided not to come back onto the track at that stage. A very sensible decision. A good choice there in how to rejoin the track. Take note, for those of you who want to dive back onto the circuit, take note of the battle going on, because that was two cars coming side by side out of a very tricky corner. So Samuel leads us away here in this battle pack. Great little bit of racing here. So close these cars are at the moment, and one little slip up on a curb will absolutely ruin your exit. That's what happened to Brad Cook, and that's what put him down behind of Samuel. Really unfortunate there. So I think that was through Tamburello or Villeneuve, and he just got all sorts of sideways. Through Alta we go now once again. 47 minutes on the clock. Track is still damp, and the temperatures are stable as well. Let's keep on watching this beautiful, beautiful battle occur. So Law MRT saying that's a little messy. Gotta love Imola. Yep, absolutely. We've got another comment saying Hignett repping the Bent, mad respect. Absolutely. The LFM BOP has definitely been kind to the Bentley. Absolutely. The Bentley in these conditions actually not a bad car. And just for a little update, Hignett is now 3 seconds away from Joshua Vediger. So Hignett is doing fantastically well in that Bentley at this stage of the race. Quickly running through your top 10 as it stands right now. Hignett in P1 in this race overall, leading the pro class, followed by Joshua Vediger in P2 overall and in the pro class. Then Eric Scarney in P3 overall, but leading the silver class as it stands right now. Then Stephen Ty, who is chasing down the Aston Martin of Scarney. And it's not a safety car, everyone. I got very confused there for a second. I'm sure everyone did as well. No safety car, no safety car is the call from the broadcast studio. Thank you for confirming that, Glenn. I had a moment there. I was looking on trial, so I'm wondering what was going on. Ironically, there is a yellow flag up there, and race control coming in and saying, just testing, Good to get the controls all safe. 695 car having a bit of an issue down there at Tosa. Has gotten the car started again though, so no worries there at all. Aaron Slade has picked up a 10-second penalty. He might have been the culprit in that contact we had that triggered the virtual safety car in lap 1. Naz Mokhtar saying, fake safety car. Yes, that's right. Just keeping everyone on their toes, you know. No, a move here. That's a good move as well. So the 450 car there getting overtaken. Herod losing out massively. We've got the Ferrari of McDonald in here as well. I'm not 100% sure who that was going through. I think it might have been Maddox, the 765 car. Maddox going through. So a nice move there into Alta. And there it is. So it's a lap 3 contact there for Aaron Slade, the 560 car. That's why he's picked up a 10-second penalty. Not 100% sure what's happened down at turn 1. It might have been a racing incident or so many cars involved, maybe. In fact, actually, that looks like another penalty. That was another penalty we just saw come up on screen there for Aaron Slade. So Aaron Slade getting all caught up in the action, causing a bit of chaos out there in the wet. It is dry conditions out there now, everyone, so there is no more rain falling despite the erroneous window wiper there, the 450 car. Herod going side by side. Oh, that's very close, and there's been contact, unfortunately, between those two cars. Herod gets gets run wide. Macbeth will come on through as well, saying, thank you very much. I will happily take that. I did for a moment think that was the McDonald's livery there, but it's just red and yellow, so it's definitely not a McDonald's thing there. Can't make my Happy Meal joke, unfortunately. But nonetheless, Herod really losing out there, unfortunately. McDonald does go up into P9, so carrying on with the top 10, although this battle is not over, so continue watching here, folks. So this is absolutely not over as they come through Piratella. P7 there to Shady Samuel. Aaron Lee in P5, second in silver class, the 62 car. P6 to Washington, third in silver class, then Shady Samuel in the number 5 car there in P7. So all looking pretty stable at the moment for those chaps. Here's Callahan, and not someone we've focused the camera on too much here. Another Coca-Cola livery. Love it. There's lots of sweet drinks out there. And pretty decent livery too. I do like it. So very, very nice work here. P21 at the moment for Callahan, rocking the 720S Evo. So mad respect, of course. Everyone out on track who's using a McLaren, you know, they're just awesome people at the end of the day. I don't have bias as a commentator, as you can all tell. I love all the cars out on track, but the McLaren is the best. So just so you know, I'm just trying to spark a little conversation here in chat for everyone to argue about.
Do we call it? Do we call it conversation, George, or do we call it stirring the pot?
I'd argue it's conversation, but it's a bit of both, I think, at the end of the day.
Sorry to leave you flying solo there for a bit. I was just trying to find my way around the screen again. It's been since the 12-hour. I've not been in the seat, and took me a little while to blow off the cobwebs.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, the 12-hour was a pretty intense event as well, and it went off without a hitch though, which was very nice. Same can't be said for Lewis, who's just run off track there. But I mean, the job that you guys do. And the hours you're putting in, Glenn, and everyone else who's involved in it, absolutely astounding work.
Yeah, it's labour of love. It's lots and lots of help from people like Matt Powell and Mullet, of course. But yeah, no, it keeps us busy, keeps us on our toes.
That's the way it should be at the end of the day. No broadcast goes smoothly. Let's just put it that way. There's always something. I've always found that. It's always something. So yeah, it is. But I mean, you know, get these. We've got 5 rounds, of course, here, and then we'll be back into things at the end of January for 8 rounds, I think it is.
Yep. 8 rounds back into a longer season then. Just hats off too to Mike Crick, who jumped in for his first night doing the broadcast last night and did an absolutely stellar job. He and the team did very, very well.
Oh, and that is a car off there. Not quite sure who that belongs to. Is that the 959 car? Might be. Into the pits we do. So we are at the point at which the track starts to transition to where the dry tires will be optimum. A lot of drivers now taking that risk. It's still damp out there, but the track temperature is increasing. So you can expect those damp conditions to rapidly go away. Green conditions will be out there, I'm sure, in probably less than 5 minutes at this stage. Of course, Hignett still leading us away in that Boatley, and that gap is just continuing to grow. It was actually 4 seconds between him and P2. Joshua Vediger has come into the pit lane, so he's the first of our pro drivers to decide it's time to get the switcheroo on those tires, chuck out the wets, get on the dry tires now. Just got to be a bit careful on those curbs, especially on the exit road as well. Don't want to be spinning the car around before too late. And it's a bit of a dodgy pit exit here as well. So it's not a lot of fun, especially in wet conditions when you're coming out on dries.
There's Vitiger coming out now. Yeah, I'm wondering when Ben will pull the pin here, because those tyres have got to start to be heating up pretty significantly.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, I think we'll keep an eye on the lap times that are coming out from Joshua Vediger as well. Hignett at the moment is his last lap was a 46.2, so this is actually very, very good pace on the wet tires, but they will be getting probably pretty bad, pretty hot, and the PSIs will be rising rapidly at this stage. So yeah, we'll have to see what kind of pace Joshua Vediger is able to pull out there, and this will tell us whether that gap is going to close down. So I will keep an eye on the lap times going forward. Last lap out there, Joshua Vediger on the wet tires was a 46.882. He was running a little bit off the pace there from what this Boatley has been capable of. So the Boatley, re-energized by the LFM Bob and in the hands of Hignett, it might have to start calling it a Bentley again.
Yes, it's always been a favourite of Ben's. He was a big fan back in 1.8, 1.7. Hadn't driven it a lot since, though, I don't think.
No, I mean, it's not really been in the meta of cars, unfortunately, especially with the likes of the Ferrari 296, the Audis, BMWs. I mean, even the BMWs, which is a pretty old car as well, but it's just sort of got eaten up in terms of the cars and the situation out there. 45.830 there, so Hignett is actually finding time. I think he's just using those tires to the absolute maximum now. He's going, right, that's it. Let's just absolutely beat up these tires. Let's take a look at Joshua Vediger. He's about to come across the line here.
This will be his first
flying.
flying.
Is that going to be?
Yeah, I think.
Oh yes, of course.
He'll just
that's
be
his outlap.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what he can pull out on what I assume is the dries. I didn't actually check it, but you would assume so.
I think we can probably assume that. But since we have you in the
oh yes, definitely dry.
That's okay, good. Because the track has just gone greasy, and if he's out there on the wet tyres, he's going to be having a very, very bad time soon. But since we do have you yourself, the now named Crofty, what's the situation out there? Give us some analysis from down the pit lane.
It stopped raining down here in the pit lane, and I've put away my umbrella, and I'm about as useless as the things on a chook. Yeah, you put me on the spot there. Thanks very much. This is
valuable Crofty information. I really like it.
No, I'm more the Karoon who gets plenty of time in the background to figure out what the hell he's going to say, and then says it and runs away.
There you go. Yeah. There's a range for commentary, isn't there? There's the ones that can blab on, and say absolutely nothing about a lot of things, or maybe the opposite. I'm not 100% sure. And then there's those who are a bit more placed, a little bit more calm about their delivery of things, a bit more considered, I think is the word.
That's what we were. Sorry, I accidentally flicked to another driver then. I wanted to stay on Vetiger just to get this lap. So he's not 46.5. So we've still got.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Hignett has come out and done his pit stop as well, but it looks like the transition zone between the dries and the wets is still kind of a little bit mixed at the moment. Excuse me. So Hignett's fastest lap, a 1:45.8. That was on the wets. Then he's come into the pits, but looks like Vetiger has only managed to set a 46.5. So it might not have been the best lap out there for him, as we do see some more penalties coming in. So collision on lap 5. Steve Lewis does pick up a 10-second penalty there. Certainly not going to help him in this race. I think the 20-second penalty for Aaron. Aaron was. Was it Aaron? I think it was. Yes. That's been served in the pit lane as well. So that leaves one person out there who needs to jump into the pits, and that is Shady Samuel, who's currently leading us away. But I mean, let's get on board with Josh. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, and Shady's just come in the pits, so
oh yes,
we'll
he has.
be clearing that first. I was thinking last night. No, it's not 2 pit stops tonight. It's just the one.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, so 1 pit stop. The pit window, of course, I think will close in about 20 minutes. So, but everyone's done their pit stop now, so no one will really need to come into the pits again unless it suddenly starts raining. I mean, it's entirely possible, but 30 minutes out and 35 minutes left on the 35 minutes left on in the race. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have rain again. So I'll commit to that. I'm going to say it's going to be dry from the remainder of the race. Just watch out for the curbs. They don't dry out as quickly, unfortunately. So Hignett and Vediger will now go up ahead. P1 is retained there by Hignett, but unfortunately the early pit stop there for Joshua has not really helped him out, sadly. He's still sitting 4.5 seconds behind Hignett, who's going to be doing his first hot lap now. Vediger's now found his way into the 45s, albeit only just. So 145.932. I think a lot of these drivers wanted to try and find a way to get it as close to that 30-minute mark as possible. They're about 5 minutes away from where that is, meaning that you don't have to make any rapid adjustments on your MFD, which is always handy. Chris Taylor in the chat saying Benny panicked. He thought it was a 2-stopper. Oh dear, so he's running 100 litres. Oh dear. Okay, so yes, that is a bit of a panic mode. You don't want to be running. If anyone can handle it, then Ben can probably do it. Currently on some onboard shots there, were just momentarily, but back to the action, because Shady Samuel is under massive attack here from the Porsche behind Aaron Lee, and they've got Stephen Ty in tow as well. This will be a nice little battle to watch. They've got Washington ahead. So Washington has found a couple of places during the pit stop area. Not quite sure if they pitted before or after the crossover period, and geez, they really do cut the curb and alter quite a lot there. The McLaren not getting sent to space this time. And yes, apologies for those who didn't have car sounds. We have fixed that now, so apologies for that. But these things occasionally do happen. I actually need to rewind a little bit on chat, because when I did talk about people's opinion of Imola, and I'd love to hear yours, Glenn. JC saying the worst, Kyle Army a close second, Dave Adams saying JC bad take, Sean saying JC loves PR, enough said.
Yeah, so, yeah. JC, I don't know. I think he's a bit of an outlier. He's got he's very opinionated in his in his love and hatred of certain tracks, and you know, I see him and Peach in the same sort of model. That's they both like to stir the pot and to cause a bit of controversy at times. But Imola, look, I quite like it. I hated it when I first joined here. Could not get a clean lap in. But then again, I've never been the greatest of great drivers, so that's not to be not surprising at all. But no, now quite like it. Love this area down here, down in the fast sweeping right-handers here.
Yeah, Minerali is a pretty spectacular sequence of corners. You dive in fast on the right, another hard right there. You got to slow down a little bit into Minerali. If you're brave, you can probably just lift off and go through there. But then you've got to get the power down. You've got to get the car turned in turn 12 so you can get the run down towards Alta, which they've just come through now. But it is a nice flowing circuit, I think. You've got a few interruptions around turn 7 Tosa, bit of a tight corner, and then Rivasa as well can be a real challenging corner. I've never got Rivasa quite right. I always feel like I'm losing time down the straight, because it is a very long straight, about 1 kilometre, in fact.
Yes, yeah, definitely. You want to get a clean exit and get the power down early, because this is one of the best passing spots on the track, if not the best, so you really want to get that good run.
Exactly. I mean, the only real gripe I have with this track is the pit lane exit, which is, in my opinion, up there in terms of bad with the likes of Watkins Glen pit entry. It's a bit of a shocker, but sometimes they can't do much about it. And actually, as I was mentioning, the Las Vegas Grand Prix. They've done the exact same thing there with the pit lane exit, so it comes right out into turn 2, I believe. So I don't know if that's good design or not, but I don't like it. It's dangerous and scary as a driver.
For sure. Just checking to chat. Give me a yell if you've still got any issues with the sound. I don't know if you don't tell us, so yeah, give us a hoy. I think we've got it nailed, but I'm not 100%.
There we go. So, yep, do let us know, of course. We're coming up to halfway through this race, so I think it's time for a little bit of a race update for everyone. Graham Hill in chat saying sounds all good, so that's good. Excellent. Thank you, Graham. Much obliged. So it is Hignett, of course, still leading us, but the gap has reduced. We've got some great laps being set by Joshua Vediger. He's now in the 44s. The fastest lap we were on board with Shady Samuel, 44.312. So the track is starting to get much, much better. It's greasy at the moment. The track temperature is rising. Probably going to be at 27 degrees in the next 20 minutes or so. But I expect this track to potentially get back to a fast status. It is dry conditions now through to the end of this race. Of course, Scani is leading us away in silver category, P3 overall, but look who he's got behind him. So 2 Astons here battling for P3 at the moment, and both in silver class. James Bond versus Bennett and George at the moment out on track. Lovely to see. Washington's just taken the fastest lap, so now gone to 43.7. No, that's now with Maddox down in P11 of 43.6. So the track conditions, if they're not fast by the end of this lap, or green at the very least, I would be very, very surprised. Everyone finding time out there. The curbs are starting to dry out as well. Those pools of water starting to dissipate from the track, and Scani is under a lot of pressure now from Washington. Washington is in behind and looking pretty fierce. We're on board with the rear view mirror here, well, rear view wing view, I should say. I don't have a good name for that, actually. It's what is it? Front? What do they call it? The wing view. That's what it is, isn't it, Glenn?
It's better than everything I could come up with.
Okay.
Yeah. looking out your rear didn't seem like a very good choice.
No, not a good choice at all. So the rear wing view here. It looks like Washington got a pretty nasty run there, unfortunately, though, through Variante Alta, or a very good run for Scani. He's been very consistent there, as Scani. Absolutely nails that corner every time he does it. Now through Ravaza. Who's going to get the better exit? That's the question, because who gets the power down is going to make a big, big difference. Looks like they were pretty equal on that. That's going to give Washington a good chance here down into turn 1 to get that overtake done. We'll see if he's able to do it. I don't think there's a lot of gains being had. Of course, 2 of the same make and model here, so there's not going to be any kind of advantage in the speed. Very good on the brakes as Washington does go pretty hard on those curbs. Pretty brave driving here from both him and Scani. And he runs a bit wide as well. There's the driver looking calm, cool and collected. He's totally in peace at the moment. We absolutely love to see it. This is a great little battle of over here. Stephen Ty has now actually set the fastest lap of the race at 43.1. We didn't get a good eye on how fast these drivers' ultimate pace could be, because qualifying was in the wet. Those of you who are joining us now, and of course if you are joining us now, I'll tell you what, time for some housekeeping items. What do you say? So this is the Simrigs Sprint Series here. You're watching Split Blue. We've got Split Red coming up after this. 2 more gentlemen joining us in the commentary box later on. But this is the Simrigs Sprint Series for OOR, and we're doing a 5-round season here. It's a little fun season, as what we can say. Season 16 will start in January. And of course, if you're an OOR Patreon, if you do support us, which is absolutely appreciated, as Scotty takes a very interesting line through Alta, but doesn't suffer for it, you do get 5% off on the Simrigs.com store. So big thanks to Simrigs, big thanks to everyone who is Patreon and supporting us at OOR. It is very much appreciated. A lot of hard work going in here. That is very close. So the battle for P1 has actually been evolving much more rapidly than I thought. The Bentley now under huge pressure. It was beautiful in the wet conditions, but in the dry, the Porsche does seem to have the advantage. And in this case, the slipstream Joshua Vediger might go for the move. Defensive goes Hignett. He's going to hold that inside line, forces Joshua out to the outside. And will there be a move round the outside into turn 1? They're side by side. They're clashing pain just a little bit there. Beautiful driving from both. Space was given by both drivers. Excellent work, but looks like Joshua Vediger has managed to find his way around turn 1. Great move there from the 999 car, Coca-Cola Zero. Of course, don't have that sugar in there. Turns out, makes you a faster sim racer. But the Bentley with Hignett behind the wheel was out to a 4.5 second gap by the time the wet weather really changed. And a green track we have now, dry tyres on all of these cars. And unfortunately, the Boatley, great on water when it comes to the dry weather, obviously suffering a little bit there. Comparative lap times between the two. Vedega is best on the dries, 43.3. Is the best Hignett can manage in the dry conditions of 44.5. So there's something about that 992 Porsche. It is absolutely rapid in the hands of Joshua Vedega, who goes very wide, misses the apex completely there at Minerali. Does present another opportunity for Hignett, but move down into Alta is probably not advisable. He's going to have to get it done on the straight. I'm unsure about this the top speed of both of these cars and how they compare. Some blue flag traffic with a lot of damage on the car, getting out of the way for these two. So Hignett is going to have to find a way to get a really good exit into Ravaza, which they do come into now, turn 17. That is an odd line, very bad line there from Joshua Vedega. He's going to have to fix it up into turn 18, which he does do nicely. Great little battle evolving here. We've got Eric Scarney in the background now coming into this fight. He's been slowly but surely finding his way closer to these chaps, and he'll be quite keen if he can get ahead of either one of them. I'm sure he'll be quite happy, though, just to see the other Aston Martin of Washington sort of disappearing off into the distance. But Hignett not able to get the run there and clips the curb in turn 1-2. It's not ideal for him, but does not get the run down the main straight. Look at the pressure he's under now from the Aston Martin. Eric Scardy potentially going for a move here, looking to the inside, thinks better of it, into Tamburello. But that, yeah, that Bentley is looking rather difficult to drive right now. Chances are there is a problem with the potential problem with the fuel here. Now, we did hear earlier on Chris Taylor saying that there's 100 litres on board of that Bentley. So it is a Bentley. It's not a Boatley because it's not in the wet, but it is a Boatley now because it's got a lot of fuel on board. So it's holding a lot more weight than these other cars. So all of the progress of that little LFM Bob did for this Bentley, which is minus 40 kilograms, basically erased by the amount of litres of fuel on board Hignett's car, and that is not doing him any good right now, because look at the cars lining up behind him. He's got Scarney, then there's going to be Washington, and then there's going to be Shady Samuel as well. And if he can't find some pace soon, he is going to be under a huge amount of pressure from those three. This could potentially be a loss of the top 3 position here for Hignett. He's got a lot of work to do.
Just an interesting bit of trivia from the back blocks. Ben's currently got, and I can tell this because I've got some secret squirrel stats coming through. Ben's got 80 litres of fuel on currently, and Vedega has 66. So it's not really that big a difference between the two. But yeah, obviously it would have been better if he hadn't dropped 100 in. And
yes.
but yeah, I expected to sort of see that maybe Josh was down at about the 40 mark with 22 minutes remaining. But yeah, not sure how close. I think I don't think there's any doubt that they're both going to make it to the end.
Yes, that's the one thing we can be really sure of right now. I think that Bentley is going to be good to the end of this race. I just wonder, maybe it's the setup that he's having to use on the Bentley that's maybe causing the tyres to get out of their window a little bit. Possible that's happened, but I mean, he's essentially eliminated 20 kilos of the BOP. If he had the same fuel as Joshua Vedega, that is.
Yep.
But as you said, 40 litres is more than enough for the last part of this race. So maybe that weather just mixing up the fuel calculations a bit for some of these chaps out there.
Yeah, and quite possible Ben he looked at the variability of 7 on the setup and on the settings for the race today, and thought rain right through it, and might have just been set up quite nicely for that wet weather.
Yes, indeed. Sorry, I just lost you there on my side for a second. But, that's all good, but you're absolutely right. Yeah, so we'll see what happens, because he's got a fight on his head. Oh, excuse me, he's got a fight on his hands. That is for sure. Odd job on the Aston Martin behind him, looking rather villainous, I would have to say. So watch out, Scardy is on a charge, but Washington's back within range of Scardy too. So with Shady Samuel, who's currently running P3 in the Pro class, rapidly approaching as well. I'm going to be interested to see exactly how these cars handle towards the end of the race as they do get to the lower fuel rates. Shady Samuel has just set the fastest lap, 41.7, so it's getting quite rapid out there, to say the least. I really do feel sorry for Hignett running essentially an anti-bop fuel.
The anti-bop.
At the moment. Yeah.
How good's this though, George? We've got a Porsche, a Bentley, 2 Astons, a Macca, and an Audi in the top 6. So nice to see a good range of cars.
I think it's really good. I mean, the default BOP just doesn't allow for this kind of racing. Those Astons and the Bentley would be at the back of the field, even in the hands of pro drivers right now. So seeing the spread that we've got in the manufacturers just makes it exciting. And I mean, it's interesting because all these cars have different characteristics as well. Not just the fact that they are different manufacturers and come from different eras of ACC. So just to see what the drivers do with the cars makes it interesting. But also just the variability. It's just nice to see more cars up there. You know, wish we had this in a bit more in Formula One. To be fair,
absolutely.
So hats off to the LFM chaps for developing a bot that's really making things competitive. Now, I'd love to see it when we had the 12-hour Misano. I think it worked really, really well. And it seems to work well here in the Sprint Series too. I assume are we running that for the Spec Series as well? I assume yes.
Well, yes, we did put it in for the. Not that it really makes any difference because everybody's on the same. You know, everyone's on the same car, being the Spec Series. But we did pop it on because of the fact that the practice servers all had the -40 on for the Nissan, and we discussed it and thought, well, if everyone's been practicing on our practice servers with -40 and then we throw the 40 back on, we might have a mutiny on our hands. So
you would also have a great broadcast, to be fair, so that would be rather entertaining. We did just see Shady Samuel make a great move into turn 1 there on Washington, so Washington has lost out, goes very, very wide there as well. Not an ideal line, so Shady Samuel starting to make his way back up in this group. Scarni is next on his list to overtake, and Scarni has not been able to find a way past Hignett despite a couple of mistakes being made. This is a good run for Shady Samuel. Can he make something happen down here into Alta? Tries it, but there's a little bit of contact. He does rightfully back out and somehow doesn't lose really any time to that. That was really close to a big accident. So good on Shady for getting out of that. It was definitely not on, despite the overspeed he had. It's a very short straight down to Alta, so you've got to have some really amazing overspeed on the car ahead to make that work. If you're going side by side there, good luck and welcome to the space program. On board now in my favorite dash view. I absolutely love this view. This is one of the special broadcasting views that you don't usually get to see. And on board with Samuel, who's looking to chase down Scarni ahead. And I think this is a really good drive at the moment for Hignett. He's obviously off the pace. 3.5 seconds up the road is Joshua Bediger. So Joshua is pulling away and looking very, very likely to take a race win here at round 1. And Hignett's putting on a defensive masterclass, just putting that Boatley, making it wide. Not that it needs to be any wider, but the wide hips Boatley there is doing its job. And in the hands of a defensive master, you can see what it's capable of. You can see him there being off the corners. That's very critical. I get the feeling that maybe the thing that the Boatley is suffering from is maybe a deficit in top speed.
Got no comment to give you on that. But it does seem to be the case because he's not. He's certainly at a bit of a loss on these, even the short straights. You're seeing Scarni was pulling up to him in the last lap.
Yeah, exactly right. Some comments from chat. We've got Law MRT saying this is turning out to be a bit of a banger. Yeah, this is a great race we've had so far. Loving the battle we've got for P2. Shady Samuel has got the overspeed, but this is going to be an interesting place. Late on the brakes. Big move down the inside. There's contact. It's too late on the brakes. It's too deep into the corner, and Shady Samuel has taken out the Boatley. That is Hignett gone round after Shady Samuel has tapped the rear of the car. That is a huge moment here The Bentley suffering for it. That's unfortunate. That'll be a penalty, unfortunately, I suspect, coming Shady Samuel's way. It was a nice move, but unfortunately the Bentley can't get out of the way. Now another move. Washington trying to look up the inside. Scardy's gone very deep into the corner. He says, corners? We don't need no corners where we're going. Scardy, unfortunately, will fall back. They're behind Washington. Stephen Ty now in this. Aaron Lee now in this. And Hignett is about a few seconds off the back of this pack. He'll have to do some work to try and catch back up. Really unlucky there for Hignett in this race. Just getting tapped at the back of the car. And around he goes. Good recovery from him, though, at the end of the day. So Shady Samuel, the winner in all of this, goes up to P2. But sadly, for him, that, I'm sure, is going to be looked at by the stewards.
Yep.
And there we go.
There we
There's
go.
a 15-second penalty immediately. So the stewards must have been on board for that one, I suspect.
Yes, yes. Shady maybe forgot he had that extra 35.
Yeah, exactly right. So Stephen Ty is actually the big winner in this. He's caught back up to the battle pack, got ahead of Scarney as well, and now is staring down the back of a... well, actually, with the 15-second penalty that Shady Samuel has got, that's going to put him well outside of this battle pack. So, unfortunately, Shady Samuels can wave bye-bye to that podium position today, despite holding the fastest lap. Washington will be P2 after the race if he holds onto this position. Question is, he's going to try and get past Shady now because he doesn't want to have Stephen Ty behind him. Stephen Ty very fast in most cars that I've seen him in. In fact, all cars I've seen him in, he's been very, very quick. And I think today is no exception. Scarney has fallen down the field a little bit. He'll get P4 if he continues the way it is, so he might try and find a way back, but cut the corner at turn 1, and that's unfortunately what lost him the place and brought Stephen Ty into the mix of things. So that was quite interesting. Very interesting sequence of events there. What a battle we've had. I mean, 5 cars involved in it for the P2, P3 positions here. Look at this. I mean, look at this. All of these cars here are fighting technically for P2, and Hignett's actually not doing a bad job catching up as well. There's a bit of blue flag traffic to mix things up as well. Blue flag traffic gets really out of the way, in fact stops on track saying nope, there's a lot of cars there, got a big blue flag, I'm out of here. And there's another car as well, so they'll be giving way to quite the bit of action on track here, folks, and we've had a few interesting comments as well in the chat that I'll read out momentarily. Some F's in the chat as well. Yeah, very unfortunate for Hignett. There's Mokhtar saying 50-second penalty. Sage saying, well, that's a death. Ferrox saying, that's not gone well. McLaren, why? Because it's McLaren things at the end of the day. Joe Van Lee saying about Scarney's excursion at turn 1, Joker lap. Yep, exactly right. Scarney knows the rules. Used that speed token very, very wisely there, although he did lose a position. So 13 minutes remaining in this race. The track is now fast, so it's a very good conditions out there. Might actually just get to optimum here, because it is sunny out there now.
Yeah, for sure. We can't be too far away from that. Be interesting. I'm not sure how the how things are looking for split red, but they'll be hoping it'll be dry, I'm sure.
Yes, unfortunately for Split Blue, whenever I show up in the commentary box, which was pretty much all of Season 15, they did seem to be on the unlucky side of the weather. I don't know if that's my fault, but the only independent factor that I can find there is me.
Yeah,
so,
it was you. It was definitely
there
you.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's ironic that I was temporarily relegated to the weather reporting station after... What was it, 5 curses that
Yes.
I gave out at Bathurst?
Yes.
That was a bad one. That was a bad one.
Yeah, every time you mentioned somebody, they were off. It was pure masterclass in commentary
We've had you cut
curses.
out, I can't hear
Yeah.
you at the moment. If you are talking, sorry.
Can't hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Am I back? Okay.
You are back.
Okay. Sorry about that. No, I was just saying that was a masterclass in commentary, in commentary cursing. Every time you mentioned somebody, they were off into the weeds or into the concrete at Bathurst. So yes,
Yeah.
wonderful effort.
Yes, there was 5 gold stars for me there on that one. Everyone was really happy with my effort there. Ferric saying, Cook, the legendary weatherman. That's exactly right. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to bring the weather. You know, it's the old New Zealand song, take the weather with you. So I will do that. Although it is not actually raining here in New Zealand. It's just a weather curse. I don't know what it is. maybe I need to stop doing those rain dances before my commentary. Maybe that's the problem.
That could be it. You need to learn from Bender. He does rain dances all the time, and they come to nothing. So
yeah, so there was an irony as well, because in the 12-hour Misano, I got all the wet weather on my stints. Just as my stint started, or just beforehand, the weather came in, and jumped in the commentary box, and it turns out there was some anti-weather cursing going on there, which was rather miraculous. But yes, nonetheless, update here on the race with 10 minutes to go. Vedeger does lead us away, though not by a lot, because he's had an issue somewhere. Vedeger's had an issue somewhere. He was 3.5 seconds up the road, but now he's only less than a second now ahead of Shady Samuel. So there has been an issue there for Joshua Vedeger. Not quite sure what has happened out there on track. He has definitely had some sort of problem, and hopefully not a fuel problem. I mean, he's got 60 litres on board 20 minutes ago, so he should be absolutely fine. Shady Samuel on for an absolute charge right now. Of course, that's going to come to, unfortunately, pretty much nothing at the end of the race, holding a 15-second penalty at the moment for that contact that sent Hignett round. Hignett at the moment in P7, and looks like he's not making a lot of progress, unfortunately, on Scarney ahead. Scarney fighting with Lee, and we've got Stephen Ty in P4 fighting with Washington to try and grab what will eventually become a P3 spot. Oh, big move there. So Shady Samuel down the inside at Rivazza. Very nice move there. Gets it done. That's where he had the contact with Hignett a few laps ago. This time there's no car ahead. He was very late on the brakes and gets the move done. Vedeger will have the run back at him, though, down to turn 1. So will Shady go defensive? He may have to, because that Porsche is absolutely going for it. Has a decent amount of speed. Might be a little bit far back for Ascend. At this stage, I wouldn't worry too much about it if I was Joshua Vedeger, because that 15-second penalty for Samuel, in 8 minutes, he's going to have to be putting nearly 2.5 seconds a lap on Vedeger to mitigate that, which I don't think he's going to be able to do. We'll see. Of course, we do know that Shady Samuel is a very, very quick contender. This man knows how to drive these McLarens much, much better than I do, and he's proven that he's got the pace out there. I'm fortunate about that contact back down at Rivazza a few laps ago with Hignett. It's just, yeah, just an unfortunate mistake there, really. Obviously not intentional, but these things unfortunately do happen in racing, and that 15-second penalty is there to show that. So on board with Stephen Ty, he's chasing down Washington, who has been favouring a very wide exit there, choosing the bumps for reasons unknown, I would say, at this stage. Yeah. Into Minerali we go. Yeah,
just trying to keep the minimum speed up, I guess, by taking that bit of extra road, but being able to hit the apex and keep going at a greater speed.
Somehow that Aston is actually really good on the bumps. I have yet to drive the Aston at all. Maybe someone in chat or yourself, if you have driven the Aston, tell us. But it looks really comfortable. And that is a huge moment there. So Washington very deep on the brakes there, really slows the car down, and Stephen Ty just was not prepared for that Aston Martin to be so slow into Rivazza, and that means Stephen Ty has gone for a bit of a spin. That's really unlucky. He was looking at the podium position. Now he's back behind Hignett in P7. Crikey, that's gone from bad to worse there. Well, it's actually gone from good to bad in a split second there for Stephen Ty.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on Washington slowing that greatly, but that dramatically. But yeah, not sure what happened there with Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes if you, I mean, there will be different braking zones for everyone, of course, out on the circuit. And yeah, sometimes you just don't expect it, especially when you're following really close to a car. And maybe Washington just felt that he, I mean, it didn't look like a brake check to me. He might have been a little bit slower than he has been before into that corner, but it didn't look like anything intentional there. And yeah, Stephen Ty just got a little bit caught unawares, unfortunately. Can happen. This is why I tend to back off if I'm in a race. I have terrible racecraft. I choose the safe option more often than not. Some would call that good racecraft, but I don't take enough of the opportunities, should I say. But it's challenging to be that close behind a car, and Stephen Ty just got it a bit wrong there, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scarney's not been having a bad race here today. I mean, he was in contention for a podium position. He will potentially get 4th positioned here today. Shady Samuel dropping down the grid. I think Shady's going to drop to probably P8 or P9 at this stage. I don't think it'll be out of the top 10.
No, just doing some quick maths there. He's going to be about. He might sneak in somewhere between Herod and McDonald.
Yes, I think that'd be about right. And we did actually have a question earlier in chat about Brad Cook and the NSX, who was running a lot better than where he is now. I think there might have been an issue for him somewhere. I'm not 100% sure, unfortunately. He's currently running in P10. He's got Maddox behind him, but about 2.5 seconds down the road, so pretty decent gap there as well. So just quickly running through the categories, just to update everyone as we do watch this amazing livery. By the way, tell us your livery of the day, everyone, but I have to admit, this 007 livery on the Aston, that is peak livery creation, in my opinion. Nonetheless, I digress. So pro category at the moment, provisionally led by Shady Samuel, but that will unfortunately change for him. So P1 and pro, Joshua Vedega, P2, Hignett, P3, Stephen Ty. Then in the silver category, 3 silver drivers up in the top 5, Washington, Aaron Lee, and then Scarney, all battling it out now. 5 minutes or 4 minutes 30 to go in this race, so it still could be a little bit of action here in the silver class. And then, of course, we do it for the Pro-Am class. Steve Lewis in P14, leading us away in the 959 Ferrari. Then we've got Muriel there in P15. These two are having, I mean, a little bit of a battle, but I think the gap there for for Lewis, yeah, so that's going to drop him out, unfortunately. So that'll elevate Muriel the Pro-Am lead. Salvaggio will take P2 in this Pro-Am, and then Wood will probably be just a bit out of range, unfortunately. So Wood will be P4, Lewis will be P3. And then, of course, we have the AM category, Shackelford here leading us away. And then my friend in Hayden Marsh down there in P22 at the moment. I think, Glenn, correct me if I'm wrong, but we only have 2 AM drivers today.
Yes, I think that's the case.
And I will actually make a mention here for Hayden Marsh. He's put this livery together specially for today. He's installed essentially haptics, you know, those devices that make everything shake.
Oh, yes.
Yep. I don't actually know the name of it. Someone in chat can probably tell us what that is, as Ryan does pick up a 15-second penalty for causing a lap.
Bum rumblers or something, aren't they? Bum rumblers?
Yeah, bum rumblers or something like that. He's been using it as a massage machine, actually, turns out. But he's kitted out his Moser gear with it, so he's got a big Moser livery on here, and a bunch of his computer graphics stuff as well, NVIDIA and all that. So hats off to Hayden for the nice livery there. I wouldn't say it's the most colourful livery out there on the grid at the moment. I'd say the Aston Martin of Scarney is probably my favourite, just for the reference. I mean, if you're gonna put something on an Aston Martin, might as well be James Bond. So I very much approve of that. Ravenous Aardvark saying hashtag Scarney for Pro. All right, let's get that trending, everyone. Hashtag Scarney for Pro. Let's go. He's up there in P5, so I think it'd be appropriate. We've got double Punteruno for Bradley. Ah, dear. And Ferrox confirming butt shakers. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Some, I'm sure, totally correct terms for what they are. Maybe we just call them shakers. Maybe that's the better idea.
Yeah, I do know the ones you mean, but I'd be damned if I can remember the right name for them.
Yeah. No, I'm at a loss. There is a term for them. I won't read out the one that Jovan Lee's just put in chat, but for those in YouTube, you can have a little look. That has made me smile. Let's just put it that way. Hamtaro the hamster in Twitch chat. Ty and Audi Tings. Name a better combo. Well, yes, exactly. Stephen Ty and Audi is very, very good. But this battle here, so these two were going to be fighting for P2 in this race. Now the battle is for P6. Hignett getting spun around a few laps ago. Stephen Ty, unfortunately, nearly going into the back of Washington and ending up spinning himself around. So these two are technically here fighting for the P2 and P3 in the pro class, but overall P6 and P7. Stephen Ty, it's a good run for him as they head out of Tozer. So Hignett will be trying to make that boatly as wide as humanly possible to try and stave off the advances of that R8 LMS behind him. That's a great run from Stephen Ty. What can he do down to Minerali? Minerali, sorry. Not much, it seems. So maybe a chance to alter. But as we said before, yeah, don't overtake at ultra unless you get a really good overspeed. And it looks like Stephen Ty won't have that, so sensibly does stay right out of that move. Just save it up, save it up. You've got Rivasa, 2 corners, then you're on the straight, absolute sender. Nonetheless, the leader of our race right now, technically, is Joshua Verdiger. Shady Samuel got the penalty and said, right, I'm sending it. He's been given the green light from his engineers, and he's absolutely going for it. 3.5 seconds up the road now, so he's got absolutely mega pace out there at the moment, and holding the fastest lap still, a 41.732. But Washington is not out of the fight here. He's only a second behind Joshua Verdiger. So if Joshua Verdiger makes any kind of mistake in this last lap, he will be in trouble. But 15 seconds to go. This is going to be the last lap of the race. Shady Samuel leads us away. That 15-second penalty applied at the end of the race. And the battle at the moment for P6, Hignett versus Ty, who will come out on top. The last lap of this race for the first round here of the fun sprint series, I'm going to start calling it, at Imola. It's been a great race. We've had wet weather at the start, a wet qualifying, leading into some very dry, very fast conditions. Not optimum, though, as we semi-predicted. Hignett had a bit of a tank snapper there on the exit. Stephen Ty has a little bit of a look. Wide goes Hignett. Very wide goes Hignett. They've got blue flag traffic to pass as well. Stephen Ty does back out of the move, and the blue flag traffic does move out of the way, rightly so. So no action there in terms of changing position, but you can see the angles that Stephen Ty is taking into the corner. That Audi R8's got a lot more turn-in on the front of the car, whereas the Bentley does seem to favor just trying to straighten out and get the power down a little bit earlier. So this is a great little push-me, pull-you kind of battle going on between these two. And we will have our leader coming up to the final few corners. And that is Shady Samuel. He will drop down the order, but this is where all the action is happening right now between these two. Of course, we do feel for Hignett, unfortunate with that contact earlier on, and of course we feel sorry too for Stephen Ty, who spun himself round. One accidental mistake, one unforced error, but it is what it is. Shady Samuel comes across the line, technically takes victory, but he will be dropped immediately down the order. So Joshua Verdiger holds on for P1 in this race, followed by Washington, who takes P2 overall. Well done there, top of silver class, and P2 overall for Washington. Very well done. Then, of course, we do have Aaron Lee in P4, technically P3, so a podium position for Aaron Lee. Then Eric Scarney comes across the line, hashtag Scarney for Pro. Benjamin Hignett takes P6, and Stephen Ty unfortunately can't make any progress around him in that last lap for P7. Herod in P8, Tom McDonald in P9, and then Brad Cook rounds out our top 10 here in round 1 of the Split Blue Sprint Series. What a race we've had. I've really enjoyed that. Some great action out here at Imola, and whoa! That was a torpedo we just saw sent there. Antics going on after the race, but nice to see at the end of the day. And Glenn, just as the race ends, it goes optimum.
There you go. We were almost right. Story of my life. Almost right.
Yeah, exactly right.
2 seconds late everywhere.
Yeah, these things do happen, unfortunately. But yes, so that is going to be your round 1 here for Split Blue. We will be moving into Split Red, and we have 2 more beautiful voices coming into the chat. Momentarily, the voices of Neil Haynes and Sean Muller will be taking over for Split Red shortly. Glenn, you might want to tell us if we have a break or not, but we will be moving into Split Red soon.
Yes, we will take a couple of minutes and find our way around as I'm hunting for the timetables, and I'll just get that other screen up.
Yes. So overall, a great race there. Love to see the wet weather conditions and the mixed conditions. Here's the James Bond livery Aston of Eric Scarney going for a bit of a spinneroo here down at turn 1. But let's have a little look at our timetables and show everyone around the categories and what has been going on. So of course, Shady Samuel does take the win, but 15-second penalty, that's going to drop him down quite substantially, probably to P, or potentially taking a podium here. Try to do some math on the fly. I think he just loses out to Aaron Lee. So Joshua Verdiger, Washington, and Aaron Lee, your overall race winners. In the Pro-Am category, we are going to have a little look because we've got another penalty here. 10 seconds for Lewis there. That'll put him into P2 overall because Wood is simply too far down the road. So Salvaggio will take the Pro-Am victory. And now looking at our silver class, or maybe let's go to Am class.
Sorry.
No, it's quite all right. We should do these things in order. But
no.
Washington will Yeah, no, we'll be fine.
No, we'll make it up
Yeah.
as we go along.
Exactly. Washington does take the silver category there, and we've lost our thing there, but that's all good. We've got Scarney in P2 for silver class, and of course our two chaps in AM class in Shackleford taking the win, and Hayden Marsh in P2.
And everybody's
So a great race
run
overall.
away.
Yep, everyone's leaving, so it is what it is.
Here we go. So Shady ended up at P5.
There we go. Yeah, so Scarney will take a P4 there. He'll be happy with that. Hashtag Scarney for pro. Aaron Lee takes a P3 podium for two silver drivers, Washington and Lee, so good drive out from them. And of course you've got Hignett, Ty, Herod, McDonald and Cook rounding out your top 10 overall. And we have gone through the categories. So that is your race today in Split Blue. Absolutely brilliant race. Really enjoyed that. So yeah, thank you, Glenn. I think I'll
thank you,
let
George.
us move rapidly along to a break and then hand over to the lovely Neil Haynes and the amazing Sean Muller for Split Red.
Thank you very much, sir. And yes, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. We'll just do the pressing the buttons thing and get us across to Split Red. Back soon. Yes, sorry. Thank you. Just going out on the track now. So don't have to do first lap. Yes, correct. Yep. we're back. We've got Neil Haynes and we've got Sean with us. So I'll hand over to you guys and I'll go and get this other screen working.
Thank you there, Glenn. Welcome everyone to Split Red, round one of the Simrigs.com Sprint Series from the fantastic Imola circuit, one of my absolute favourite racetracks in the world. More history than a set of Encyclopedia Britannicas, and a big welcome to the one and only Neil Haynes. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing really well, Sean. It's great to have a new season upon us. Only a short one to end the year, but all the same, it's going to be very exciting here for Split Red.
Certainly is, and of course we are running a custom BOP, which is very exciting. So we should see some different manufacturers up the front as well, which is going to spice this up really well. And we're looking at the weather there at the moment, it looks like it is nice and dry, unlike Split Blue, so that should lead to some fast and furious race action as we have qualifying underway, as the drivers are out there at the moment just warming up their tyres, getting ready to set in some really fast laps. Thoughts on this evening?
Oh, look, I'm picking that maybe we might see a Aston Martin maybe take out another victory here. We'll soon see, but it's going to be a very entertaining race, and it looks like it is going to stay a nice dry race, not like the blue split that we've just witnessed with that terrible wet start anyway. So these drivers will be praying to the weather gods to keep these blue skies shining.
Certainly, and a big welcome to all our viewers. Hope you are enjoying your OOR racing action this evening. It is a big night of sport at the moment. We've got the Cricket World Cup semi-final. We've got the Socceroos playing. It's also the 18-year anniversary of that famous night in 2005 when we beat Uruguay. And we've also got some fantastic OOR Simrigs Sprint Racing action. So if you are a sports lover, these are the nights you live for. As we are looking at Mags currently on screen, we're now looking at Cooley, who's currently an AB. Yeah, I think that is broken.
Yeah, that's right.
He hasn't graced us with a livery, so we can't set his category correctly.
Oh dear. Oh, I believe that'd be 15 spot group penalty then, I believe. Surely.
Yeah. Come through with the stewards with that kind of penalty for for round one of the season, Sean. It'll probably make sure that he hops to it and gets a livery in for round two.
But he is on top of the timesheets at the moment with a 40.2, which is a pretty rapid as he heads up towards Variante Alta. Such a great track, this one. So many great corner names, plenty of history. It's one of my absolute personal favourites. I'm a big fan of Imola, but a really tough track to nail a lap. It's really easy to make a slight mistake. There's so many little corners and little bumps and curbs where you just off a little bit, and there goes the lap time. But Cooley at the moment, look at this, he's at 0.3 up. This is going to go straight into the 39s, and we're going to get our first Hollywood number. And there we go, a 39.950, if you don't mind. Thank you very much.
Yeah, setting the standard nice and early here in qualifying with 9 minutes remaining. And as you said, this track has had so many little different layouts as well over its time, especially for safety reasons. But definitely, as you said, the Rivazza can be, turn 17 can be one of those corners, as you said, that can really end a lap as well as you come down the hill and get that braking wrong and miss the apex, and that sand is waiting to catch you for any of those cars that run in wide.
So looking at Sang here at the moment, who's 0.37 up on his best lap in the BMW, and quite a striking livery, that one. He's comes through Variante Alta now, heading down towards Rivazza. Downhill braking here as well, so really got to get this braking marker absolutely spot on. Then he probably back down to second gear, tip it in, clip that apex, and you run out a little wide on the ripple strip. Some cars you grab third, as the BMW. Yep, grab third. They're nice on the power down. He gained a lot of time here. This might go straight to the top of the timesheets. It's going to be very close to Cooley. Got to see, I reckon, just misses out. Look at that, 0.50. Wowee. Nothing in that.
That is pretty good. I think he's going to go, and looks like he's going to have a reset to see if he can come back at Cooley.
Mags aside, yep, I'm not doing any of that. And he heads back into the pits, get a new set of boots, and go out for another fly. As we've got 7 minutes 30 left in qualifying, so a lot of these drivers now get a bit of an idea where their car's at, where their setup's at. and then I'll come back in and go for another run. As you're looking at Murphy here in the Porsche, and I like that. Big fan of that. He's done a nice, simple. That is the way you do a Porsche livery. Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, Sean, it's almost retro feel too, isn't it? It's got that retro style to it.
Now,
and quite pleasing to the eye.
I was just going to say, I'm pretty good with my Porsche history. I believe that is a throwback Ansett. Is it the Ansett livery on the old 956 from the Group C days?
Yeah, good call.
So definitely ticking my boxes. And he goes up to third as well with a beautiful lap.
And Rashuti, is it in fourth position at the moment in the... Oh, hang on, he's just going off here at the moment, Murphy.
Murphy's had a bit of a moment there at Tamburello.
But the Lamborghini's there in fourth and fifth at the moment as well.
Isn't that great to see? We've got, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different manufacturers in the top 6. Awesome to see. As Cooley now is on another quick lap. He's only 0.14 up. Got a little bit of time there through Variant Alta. So this might just extend his pole position.
Yeah, fingers crossed he can get his break in here and get through these last 2 corners. The camera just seems to take you away from the shot of the exit of turn 17, but it looks like he's still up on a long drag here into the start-finish straight, hugging onto the green paint.
He does,
and he has, yeah, he's gone better as a few of the cars now coming out of pit lane.
So at the moment, we've got a bit of a two-way fight up the front between Cooley and Sang for pole position. And then it is Murphy, Ratucci, Vittnar, Rattori, Mags, and Keys are your top 8 at the moment. And a good mixture of classes in there as well. Some Pro-Ams and Pros and Silver class drivers, which is what we love to see.
Yeah, it's almost like a Christmas tree, and we're not even into December yet.
Well, the way the shops run, mate, it was Christmas 3 months ago.
Yeah, you're right with that, and it's probably Easter tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to see also that McLaren of Mags in 7th position, 1.5 seconds off the pace, but I'm sure he might be able to get a little bit out of that time, and he may become into P6 a little bit later here. We'll see. He's only got 5 minutes remaining. And he could probably just do this lap and the next, but he's up on this lap at the moment, but losing a little bit of time out of the hairpin at turn 7 at the Tosa hairpin.
Heading up now to my favourite corner on the track, Piratella. Love this corner. Maximum commitment through here. Don't take too much of that inside curve, and then you don't want to run it too wide because that will be a track cut, no problem at all. And he flicks it down into Aqua Minerale. Again, really tricky corner, this one. Really hard to get the power down as well. The back end just wants to slide as you climb it up the hill. And then you break it nice and straight and take as much curb as you dare. Through Variante Alta. Lovely through there. That was nice. Even though it was slow, it looked really nice. As May, I think he's backed that one off as well. He's probably looked at the time, looked at the split and thought, no, we'll just back it off and then go for another run.
Yeah, it looks that way.
You're back with Sang at the moment.
Yeah, up just by a little bit, but he's going to need to find a little bit more than just the 0.1 of a second. But he's actually not doing too bad here. He's reducing this time in this second sector of the track. If he keeps going like this, he may just get the pole position, but just dropping as he's coming up the hill by the looks of that delta.
That Tosa hairpin's an absolute time killer. If you just slide too much, oh, that's very wide. Oh, he got away with that. I thought that was very close to the limit. But he's still finding a little bit of time. He's just got to find maybe 0.1, 0.2 somewhere. Can he make it up there through the chicane? He's got a little bit of a slipstream in front of him, which might help him as well. Lovely through. Takes a lot of curb. Runs it out very wide. Beautiful through there from Sang. He's got 0.2 up now. This is going to be very close to the top of the timesheets because Cooley will be running around as well. He's got this traffic in front of him. Is it going to hurt him? He's right up on the back of this Lamborghini here.
Yeah, they both want a good exit here, but it's cost him plenty of time. He's going to be upset here through the Rivazza. You can see he's come into the pit lane. Oh, no, he's not. He's going to decide to try it again, but that cost him plenty of time there, Sean. I think he was on a pole lap for sure.
Yeah, it looked like a pole lap, but he just caught the back of that Lamborghini right at the wrong time there. But he'll recharge. Here is Rachushi. Death taxes and Rachushi in the Lamborghini.
That's it. You can't get more Italian than this livery here at all. At the heart of the Italian racing here at Imola. And the Lamborghini of Rashidi.
And yeah, Tosa Hairpin just seems to be catching a lot of these drivers out at the moment.
Yeah, so the track should be optimum, I think, at the moment. So, yeah, it's obviously just pushing that little bit into the braking zone, probably carrying a little bit too much speed.
Still in sixth position, good starting spot. Of course, we've got a standard sprint race tonight, so your standard 60-minute, one mandatory stop for tyres. So drivers will be half filling most likely, and then so probably going to split the race half and half, but we'll get into that, of course, when the race starts as Rachushi out. Gained a little bit of time there, but he's still down on his best delta. Currently got a best lap there. Just having a quick look of a 40.8 at the moment, so pretty rapid.
So a lot of these drivers are going to be on their last lap now with only a minute remaining before we get those nerves on the starting grid.
A couple of these drivers then just circulating.
Sang is now, looks like he's going to scrape in for one extra lap here, Sean. So look out. We may just see this man climb back up to the top here. He's got a nice little gap here between the car in front of him. And can he get everything right this time?
It's clutch time for Sang. It's time to really dig deep, see what he can find as he comes through Tamburello now. Lovely through there. Beautiful exit as well. So he gains a lot of time there on the exit. Redlining that BMW as well. So he's maximum attack mode. Out through Villeneuve. Again, gains a bit of time now into Tosa. This is where he lost a lot of time on his last flying lap. So can he gain a bit of time? He does. Oh, he loses a little bit there on the exits. Not as much as last time. So if he could just keep it neat and tidy up towards Piratella, I reckon he might be on here. Nice. Beautiful apex. Lovely exit as well. Sang is absolutely wringing the neck here. This is going to be extremely tight with Curley. This is going to go right to the wire. He's gained up a lot of time there. Now, that was a great exit. Now, there is a yellow flag up at the chicane. Hopefully, that won't compromise him too much. Flicks it in. Clips both curves. Beautiful. Now he's 0.3 up. Sang is on an absolute fly. Is he going to go straight to the top of the timesheets? This is going to be extremely close. Just got this absolute devil of a corner that is Ravazza. He's catching that Lamborghini again. He'd be like, oh, no, but it looks like it's not going to compromise him too much. On the second part of Ravazza, gets a lovely exit. Now it's foot flat to the ball, but he's lost a bit of time. He's maybe lost too much time. It looks like Cooley is going to hold on for pole position, saying, I don't think he's done enough. He does close the gap to 0.103, but will remain in second position. But a great effort there from Sang.
A nice call on that lap, Sean. That had everyone absolutely glued to their seats. I tell you what, I think he just tried to latch on the back of that Lamborghini and maybe pushed a little bit too hard out of turn 18 and compromised a little bit because he knew that he was going to try and get a tow. But as we're looking at the car 711,
He's Taufik at the moment. He's actually on a really good lap. He's 0.3 up, so this will move him up the timesheets quite substantially.
Could be in the top 10 here, so this is going to be a good move for him if he can.
He missed it.
Just missed it, so still in 15th there at the start. So here we go. Look at the colourful grid we've got here for the red split for round one of the final series for 2023.
So here we go. So got a little bit of a break here. So a big thank you also to Simrigs.com for their fantastic support of the OOR Simrigs.com Sprint Series. We are split red. This is round one at Imola for Asia Pacific. And of course, got a couple of exciting things coming up in OOR in the next month or so. There is rumours of a big race coming up in December, which I'm very keen for. But, of course, we will discuss that throughout the race. But hopefully we don't have to discuss. Hopefully we get a nice, exciting race and we're calling all the action right throughout the 60 minutes. If you are watching, though, on Twitch and also on YouTube, make sure you do give that like button a good old-fashioned whack with the baseball bat. And I hope you are enjoying your Thursday evening as we look at a pretty full grid as well. 34 cars. Get around that.
Yeah, that is going to be pretty hectic. We saw a little bit of fireworks in the blue split in the wet weather, and hopefully not a repeat here. They've got the dry weather, but I tell you what, turn one here at Imola, I think all these Italian turn one corners always bring on a lot of excitement.
Just want to answer a question in chat there from Brad Cook. Brad, two things. One, you know my feelings on the GTR. Second, you spelt my name right the first time.
There you go. And here we go. We might have a fly over through the grid. And what a great lot of liveries we've got here.
That Merc's interesting.
Yes.
The Monster Aston, big fan of that. I love Ricciucci's Lamborghini.
Yeah. And hope you enjoy as we do this fly through. This is a nice Porsche too.
It is. Yes. Big fan of that.
Yeah, done very well there. And obviously, if you're in the chat, how about giving a little thumbs up or a little reply of your favourite livery, maybe car number or someone you're supporting, let us know. And obviously, we can have a little look at them throughout. Oh, the old Tic Tac BMW, I think, is back on the grid.
Yep. Big fan of that one as well.
Yeah.
Of course, that is a throwback to the old DTM days. But look at this Bentley. This is where it's at.
Yeah, in the dry, down in the back of the grid a little bit. But, yeah, that's a wild-looking Bentley for sure. 113. So, sure to see some action with that car.
Bit of a Tiger. That's nice. Oh, we've got a GTR there as well. Oh, wow.
There you go. The cameraman knew that there was a GTR for you there, Sean. So there you go.
Oh, isn't that great? Fantastic. And that's all we need to say of that.
Okay, so here we go on the warm-up as they just going to try and get those tyres now. As we all know the game, they want to get those tyres back into their little operating window before the start here. And just get a few of those little jittery nerves away, because as you said, it is a big field here tonight for round one. And I tell you what, the guys from 15 down, their eyes will be as big as the high beams on these Bentleys.
I think the other thing as well we need to sort of keep in the back of our mind is it's a really tricky turn one complex at Tamburello. So it can lead to some incidents if you don't get it right. It does lend itself to a bit of too wide action. Also down here at Toaster on lap one can be a bit of a hot spot as well. But I'm sure we've got a lot of really experienced drivers here. So just quickly reading our top 10, it's going to be saying from Murphy Wittner. Ooh, it's Cooley down in 7th. Okay, must been a penalty there I missed. Yes, there is. Yes, so Cooley's got a 6th place grid penalty. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's saying Murphy, Wittner, Hisu, Keys, Ricciucci, Cooley, Rotori, Lai, and Tonkin are your 10.
And then from 11, we got Mags, Brown, Jasmine, Barker, Tufuk, Hildebrandt, White, Dew, and Maddleford. And then Chalmers in P20.
And followed by Thurcolini, Scotty Rochford, and Thistlethwaite are your top 23. Of course, we do have 34 drivers. So it's just starting to line up to double file now. So Sang will take control of the field, must hold 80 kilometres, be about 120 kilometres here. And of course, then when they get around onto the main straight, they will back it down to 80 kilometres an hour. Must pass through your grid boxes. And of course, there is some new rules for this season as well. Drive-through or pit lane speeding penalties will not be cleared. The only ones that will be cleared is the disqualification one. But if you get a stop go 30 or a stop go 10 or anything like that for pit lane drive-through speeding, it will stand. As here we go. So strap in, split red, round 1 from Imola. Simrigs.com Sprint Series action about to get underway from this fantastic racetrack. Custom BOP, different manufacturers all up the front. This is going to be an absolute barnstormer. Sang's going to lead them away. It's a long drag down the main straight. We've got to wait for that green flag. The lights will go green very soon. So just flick it around it. There is the control line as they head under the bridge. Will everyone get through Tamburello nice and cleanly? And we are racing. So head off down towards Tamburello. And look at the start there from Murphy. That Porsche's a rocket off the line. Heading down to Tamburello. Murphy's going to try and go in the outside. He gets it done. Great start there. Oh, big tap there. Sag's gone. There's carnage. We call it Tamburello. There was going to be a moment, and I reckon that will be a good old-fashioned safety car.
Yeah, we'll see. They're all filtering back through as we speak now. They're going all right, but I'll tell you what, it's still getting very busy. Busier than a Coles car park, I think, at the moment. And they're doing a good job to get all through. And Tang is actually in 13th after leading this race. Oh! Tagging again, and he spun around.
Wow, so the two hot spots are now, our pole sitter has gone from pole to stone last in the space of literally 4 corners. Wowee. And look at that, Cooley's in front. How has that happened? Oh, wowee. He's in second, so he's gone from... How has he done that?
7th, wasn't he? 7th down up to second, but obviously avoiding all that incident. And what a great job that was. So we got 2 Astons up in the top 3. The striking lime, what is it, the black and lime green car.
So that's Keys there, currently there in third in the beautiful monster Aston Martin, but it is Murphy leading the way in the Ansett Porsche. And that's what we love to see, a Porsche up the front. As a safety car has been called.
Okay. It's going to neutralise the field again.
I think that's for everyone just to get their blood pressure down a little bit as well, I reckon.
And we have got on over on Twitch, Law MRT. That was a start. It sure was a start, and we've come to sort of get used to these kind of starts here at Imola as we're trying to filter 30-odd cars through the first corner. But thought we got away with it. But once we got to turn 7 again, it wasn't Sang's night of nights, and looped it around. But the safety car's here now. A nice little graphic on our screen.
This will definitely give Cooley, he'll have the eyes on here. He'll want to get past Murphy as quickly as possible, I reckon. And then try and get out in front and just try and streak this field a little bit. But we will see. There is that old saying, safety cars do breed safety cars.
Yeah, they can, but I think these guys really want to try and get themselves going this time around.
We're going to be positive though. It's going to be nice and clean restart.
Yeah, we've got the big Merc in position 8 of Vintinia. Here we got a replay. And you can just see what's happening. He just got tagged by the car in position 3.
Yeah, that's going to come with an invoice. Oh, there's more touching there. Oh, he just got absolutely sandwiched there as well. So he has been hit from pillar to post. Now, we'll roll along with this because I want to see what happens. We're going to see what happened at the Tosa hairpin. So he gets through there nice and cleanly through Villeneuve, then up towards Tosa. Now, was he tagged again? So he gets through there, or was he just do it on his own? Looks like it.
Was that the car that also was impeding in the qualifying laps as well? Not impeding, but sort of got in the way.
So it looked like that Lamborghini, or that purple car, it looked like a McLaren off the top, or maybe a Lamborghini. Just got a little bit sideways and just come across the track, and unfortunately there, Sang just had nowhere to go. So that is one of the roughest opening laps you will see. But I'm pretty sure the safety car will be coming in, or the virtual safety car will be ending at the end of this lap, and we'll get back under green flag conditions.
So there, just clarification, the safety car's coming in, and as you said, the Ansett Porsche livery on top here to restart here for the start lap 2.
Murphy drops the hammer now, and he's got it. He's nailed that start. He is gapped. Wow, he is gone. He's like, I am out of here. I've got a very fast Chris Cooley right behind me, so I'm going.
And Raschuti in the background as well, not mucking around. He wants to go too wide into the first corner.
They come through Tamburello now. Such a tricky section of corners. Of course, that was reprofiled after a certain incident back in 1994.
Yeah, we'll never forget. But Raschuti made that move on
he did.
Retori.
Ricciucci up there now into fifth position. Yeah, we got a gaggle of Lamborghinis all following each other, line astern. Got the Mercedes there of Wittner, and then the two Ferraris of Barker and Jusman just at the back end of the top 10. Looking here at Stefano Ricciucci at the moment. He heads down towards Acqua Minerale. Actually haven't driven the Lamborghini around here, so I'm not 100% sure what it feels like. From what I've been reading though, it is not too bad around here. Of course, we are running custom BOP, so this is why you are seeing so many different manufacturers up the front, which is what we want to see, which is awesome. Looking here at Dylan Pursuit at the moment in the soft baguette tyre. McLaren, lovely.
Yeah, and isn't it refreshing to see all the different liveries back again as well? Not the the different manufacturers back again, battling toe to toe with these custom BOP. It's sensational work, and good congratulations to OOR for adopting that as well.
Definitely a big shout out to all involved with adopting that. As Chris Cooley now, he's right on the charge here. He's right in the slipstream here of Murphy. He's going to go around, try and go around the outside here at Tamburello. We've seen this done before in many different forms of motorsport, but thinks better of it. Murphy holds on now for another lap. But Cooley's looking very racy here, and what this is also doing is giving Keys and Masu just a bit of a sniff as well. So, but Murphy's doing a fantastic job as a pro-am, leading this field with a very rapid driver behind him. On board now.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't be fooled by the red am mark on Cooley. He's definitely not that. So he's absolutely gunning it with the fastest lap already of the race. And I tell you what, this is going to be an exciting few corners.
As we jump aboard the big Aston Martin here, that beautiful V8 noise. It comes through Acqua Minerale now, up towards Variante Alta. We'll just be interested to see here the braking performance between the Aston Martin and the Porsche. Of course, the Porsche is widely renowned for its brakes as Cooley gets a beautiful run through Variante Alta. He's going to slide it straight past. That is going to be one of the easiest moves he's done. And he's going to lead it into Ravassa, so Cooley will take the lead.
Ooh, running a little bit
Murphy
wide.
had a moment there.
Yeah. Just trying to use those Porsche brakes we were talking about to see if he could try and come back at Cooley before Cooley really now cements that spot into position 1.
And
position 2, sorry.
This is danger signs for the rest of the field.
Monster Aston.
Oh yeah, moment, huge moment. Oh, we got carnage at Tamburello again. So that's Jusman. Looks like he's had a huge moment there. Got caught up. Looks like with is that the McLaren? I believe that was the McLaren there up front as well. So we've had a bit of a coming together there. I'm sure we'll get a replay as soon as possible that comes to hand, but that looked quite awkward, and that's dropped him down to 21st position. He was sitting around the top 10, so that's a big loss of position there for Jusman. As we're looking at Mags here, was this the McLaren involved? Well, I'm sure we will get ourselves a replay to get clarification of that, but he's currently sitting in 10th position here, Jacob Mags, and he's got White right behind him there in that beautiful Falcon Porsche. And then we've got Tawfik and Brown as well. So this is actually a bit of a battle pack forming here.
Yeah, definitely. It's an iconic sort of livery as well, that Falcon livery, isn't it, in the Porsche of whites. Sort of recognised a lot back in the late 90s in Australian motorsport.
Well, also a little bit of history about the Falcon Porsche as well. Pretty much runs every year at the Nürburgring 24 Hour. It's in my opinion, in GT3 Porsches, in the top 5 of iconics. Of course, number 1 will always be Grello.
Yeah, definitely. So there you go. Chris getting that fastest lap already as well. Just keeps building.
40.6 race lap, if you don't mind?
Yeah, 40.6 exactly. So he's absolutely flying here now that he's got a clear track in front of him. But there's a little battle, obviously, with that Falcon Porsche. There's a 3-way battle just off the back of this helicam.
Here we go, we've got ourselves a replay. So this will explain what's happened to Justin here. So, oh, that's a big hit.
He's coming hot as well. That's purple McLaren, is it?
I believe that was Mag. So that is a massive hit. That will come with a big paddling.
Yeah, maybe it was just a little bit lost his concentration for a minute. It's not something you normally see, but yeah, it's obviously Mags wouldn't be happy about himself about that either, I wouldn't think.
And also, he will have a very not nice McLaren to drive. The McLaren does not like front end damage at all.
No, but he's his monster Aston Martin you're talking about on the grid. Now trying to make a nuisance to Murphy in front of him.
Gap's about a 0.6, so he's close enough, but I thought he'd close in a little bit quicker, but Murphy's doing a really great job here to hold on to this second position, but Cooley now is out to 1.7. He's going to, he drops in a 40.4. I expect that gap to really extend now. I'm going to make an early prediction. I reckon by the pit stop, he'll be around 12 seconds in front.
And I think I'll be looking at Jared here in the lone Honda, I think it is, in position 17, just in front of your Nissan as well, Sean. Well, it's not your Nissan, but a car that you do like.
Oh, yeah, extremely passionate about it. Of course, that is a Nissan of a Thistleweight. And great to see, look at this, Honda and a Nissan on the grid. That is so great to see, sandwiched. And then we're sandwiched in between two Lamborghinis. This is the variety you do get here at OOR. That's a very striking livery there as well, there from Metalford. Oh, Thistleweight really deep on the brakes there in the GTR. Pulls it up though in the big brick. And then what he's done, he has opened himself up for Hucky. He's going to have a bit of a look here as we jump on board now with Thistleweight in the Ferox OES GTR. So they come through Piratella down towards Aqua Minerale. So listen to that GTR. I was going to say sing, but that's probably the wrong word to use, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. But look at the. I like this shot as well. As you can see, the driver cool at work. Oh, they're even getting so close here to the back of the Honda here as he exits the chicane.
Heading now down towards Ravazza. Back to second gear, tip it in, clip the apex, and short shift at the third, or does he keep it? He keeps it in second. Interesting. So some drivers like to short shift to third, some like to keep it in second. It really is driver preference. Of course, Thistleweight, we are normally known Thistleweight to be in the big blue Merc that he ran, I believe, last season. And of course, before that, the Audi. So he likes to change his manufacturers, likes a bit of variety. As we're looking up in front, as Metalford's looking really racy here on Rochford. So this battle pack's really starting to spice up now.
Yeah, got a little run here for the Nissan, but you got to make sure that you show your intentions very early if you're going to make a move into Villeneuve.
Just ticked over 45 minutes to go, so plenty of time. Of course, we aren't expecting too many sort of rebel strategies here. We're expecting a pretty simple split 50-50.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will be doing anything crazy here. especially for round one anyway. Sort of be following the leader, I think, as they come into the pits. It'll get busy, that's for sure.
Certainly is, and it's a really tricky pit entry as well. Just getting pit lane speeding penalties at this place is extremely easy to do. It comes up on you very quickly as this battle pack is... Oh, as Battleford runs really wide. That is
Did
not
he
the
touch
line. He did.
The wall there? It looked like he might have brushed the wall. Now he's opening himself very vulnerable here to the Nissan, but the Nissan is also struggling with Lay behind him.
So he looks like, I'm going to have to say, Metalford maybe just be a bit of a cork in the bottle here, because Thistlewaite's looking racy, Lay's looking racy, Hackey's just off the back there a little bit, Rochford's just in front, so... Oh, look at Thistlewaite, wow, he did the old left, right there, trying to just unsettle the Honda, but Metalford's having absolutely none of that.
Who we got here? A 5-second penalty for Mags as well. We thought that may have happened, causing a collision at lap 1. And all this time here, the 888 of the BMW of Doe is absolutely loving seeing his rearview mirror, this battle behind him. I think he's extending that gap between himself and Rochford.
Rochford, just this lap I've noticed as well, just pulling away a little bit. Just trying to eke out a bit of a gap, get himself a bit of breathing room so he can just get his head down. Just trying to build a bit of it.
Bit bouncing over the curves there for Thistlewaite, yeah.
Back on board with Thistlewaite now. Just smashes those curves in the GTR, and the GTR goes, yum, yum, yum.
Yeah, just gobbles up the curbs like they're not there.
Julian Gray, 15-second penalty for causing collision on lap 4. Oh, Thistlewaite has another look up the inside of Metalford. Really wants to get past here. He's trying every trick in the book. Let's see again if he can get into a bit of a slipstream. Does he try the old Craig Lounge, the old show the nose?
Yeah, I think he's doing more than showing the nose at the moment. Thistlewaite. But look at they've also catching Rochford as well.
Yeah, so Rochford must have had a really bad exit there out of Ravazza because they caught up a lot there. That Honda is... Oh, look at Thistlewaite. Yeah, again, he just cannot find a way past his Honda.
Yeah, you can see he's a lot faster. I think he's been compromised. He's got to come off the throttle a little bit to avoid the Honda. So it's good racecraft here at the moment by Thistlewaite. But I tell you what, you'll have to keep it cool still and keep those tempers at bay, because I think he has got a faster car, and this is where he may do it. He's got the run now on Metalford, and he's made that past Sean, so nice move up into position 17 now.
Lovely move there. Metalford did have a bit of a compromised exit out of the hairpin, which has allowed the GTR to get past. The GTR does have one party trick. It has got some seriously rapid acceleration. It gets up to 4th gear really, really quickly, and then it gets to 5th gear and hits the world's biggest brick wall. So that's moved this way now up to 17. So he'll start to hone in onto the back of Rochford here. As look at in the background we go. It's real. So Metalford's had a real bad couple of corners, and he's dropped another 2 positions. So Metalford has had an absolute mare this lap. So he'll have to just recharge, refocus, and then try and get those positions back. As look at here, look at Thistlewaite.
He is on a charge right now, and he looks like he may have this one in the bag of this move. He has.
Another one done. Wow, Thistlewaite. This has been some drive so far. This is a storming drive. So Brian Go gets a 15-second penalty for an unsafe rejoin on lap 4. Ooh, here they come.
Yeah, so the stewards are working hard behind the scenes here, obviously looking what's happened during those first opening laps.
Well, it's a big shout out to our fantastic stewards who do an amazing job. It is the hardest job in sim racing by far. So hats off to all the stewards who put in tireless amount of work. Can't go racing without them. As look at this away. Now, look, he's gapping as well. He's flying.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit of a, 4.5 second gap roughly to make up on the BMW in front of him. And this round of pit stops are going to come. Oh, there's a little bit of a problem in the background there.
Was that Metalford again? I think it was.
It may have been, yeah. So maybe tyres or maybe just a little bit of concentration, losing a little bit of it after being in a battle for so long. As we're looking at this beautiful livery here of Lay as well in the McLaren, the 527. Kevin's definitely done a good job. But Jacob Maggs, another penalty, 15 seconds. That may have been the one that we've seen when he was coming into the Tamburello there, Sean, I think.
I believe it was. As Lye, now he's actually coming to the pits. That's early. That's extremely early. So
that's not the 50-50 split we were thinking. So, yeah, definitely. So he's going to have to manage this next session with about a 38-minute sort of window.
Back up with Murphy now. This is the battle for second position. And Murphy's doing a great job holding off Keys here. So he's got that Porsche absolutely singing beautifully. I thought Keys was going to close up towards the back and just sort of get past, but Murphy's done a really good job. But look at Keys. He's looking a little more racy this lap. Up towards this absolutely dumb chicane.
Yeah, so I guess the fuel is starting to come off too. The cars are getting more lively. And it looks like Keys has definitely got some pace there in this Aston Martin. Trying to make it an Aston 1-2 at this midpoint of the race. We've still got about 8 minutes remaining before we get to the halfway mark.
I'm sure we'll get a hashtag soon. Aston is back.
Yeah, we're waiting for it from all the comments.
It's great to see Murphy waving the Stuttgart flag proud. Good job, son. Was that car that just coming out of the pits just at the wrong time as well. So this is going to be really interesting because this will be a blue flag situation. So he's going to have to get out of there really quickly. He does a great job.
Yeah, good job as well. Good awareness and keeps his battle well and truly ticking over. But that's also brought Rashuti and Sub into this battle as well now.
So this might actually close it up. Yeah, as you were just saying, to a four-way battle, and I reckon it is going to be very soon, which is what we want. You want a four-way battle for the podium. As just checking in our race leader, he's out to 9 seconds. Wow-wee. Well, no, 4 seconds. Oh, no. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, we'll go that.
Yeah, we'll always go that way, Sean. Definitely. Commentators are always right, they say.
Exactly right.
We're looking now at Chris in the number 33 car of the BMW. He's making his way back after having a from pole to last first lap experience, and now up mid-pack, up into position 16, doing a good job. He's obviously got in front of the Nissan we've been watching of Thistlewaite.
Tell you what, that is some recovery.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what, he could get the drive of the day with this big recovery drive.
Got a few drivers just up ahead of him that are battling each other. So a top 10 is definitely not out of the realms of possibility here for saying. So that's a great recovery drive.
Yeah,
and it looks,
definitely.
Keys has just got past Murphy as well. So we've had to change the position. So Keys has got the job done.
Yeah, nice job with that move. And see if the Porsche has any answers.
So this lap's the key for me. Always have a look when a car that is perceived to be quicker gets past a slower car. Does they drive away, or can the perceived slower car actually hold on to the back here? So Murphy's got a big job here this lap. Just needs to stay onto the back of Keys. Or does he just put the key on the rack and try and hold on to this third position? Because he has got Hasu and Ratucci behind him, two very quick operators. So the pressure is going to be building in that Porsche cabin.
Yeah, definitely the heat rising as well. Yeah, definitely. As he's been under attack for a number of laps, as you said, from Keys. And now he's got to deal with the McLaren of Sue.
Oh, driver in the
hang on a
background.
minute.
Wow, that was massive.
I think that was Sue.
That was Sue.
Well, it wasn't Raschuti, was it? I hope it wasn't Raschuti was involved. I don't know. They were close together. There could be a possibility.
Oh, that's a very broken McLaren. That looks like a reset to the pits, broken McLaren. Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Not a sight we want to see, unfortunately. But we'll probably see a replay maybe a little bit later.
Oh, that is a real shame. That was shaping up as a fantastic battle. So we'll definitely wait for a replay to break that one down as Thistleweight now pops into the pit lane into the GTR.
And gets it into that 50k speed limit fairly well.
I mean, if you haven't got done for speeding in the pit lane at Imola, have you really drove Imola?
I think that's a valid point there. I think, yeah, I think everyone has to have had at least a speeding infringement through the pit lane here at Imola. As it looks like Raschuti actually got through without being involved in that incident as well. So he's up into position 4 in that Lamborghini as we're looking at, we were looking at but Raschuti here. I love this livery of his car. And it looks like he's probably got the similar gap as what he had when the cars were there between himself and Murphy. At least he's got the clear track at the moment, Sean, so he can actually now concentrate to see if he can just bridge that gap between himself and Murphy and be right on his back bumper before they have to come in for their round of their pit stops.
Well, I think, yeah, the next couple of laps we'll get a real good indicator of Bertucci's pace compared to Murphy and just see what he can do. I have been on the back end of a Bertucci, a charging Bertucci, and I can tell you right now, he makes you very nervous. Here we go. So this is a replay here. What has happened to this McLaren Osu? So he's working on the back of Murphy here, shows the nose, pulls it back in. Is he just taking too much curb? He has. Oh, yeah. Yep. And then he's just come across as well. Oh, don't know how the stewards will look at that one. That will be very interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? But the car was sort of out of control, bouncing us around. It's almost like he was a passenger at the time. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult one for the stewards for sure. I wouldn't want to be a stewards. And as you said, you gave a shout out earlier about the stewards because they do a hard work there, and they got to make those decisions. And sometimes those decisions don't come lightly either.
No, definitely not. As looking here at Tucci at the moment. So in 4th position, currently chasing Murphy. So just some gaps opening up a little bit throughout the field. And Wittner there just in 5th position. I tell you what, Wittner's another one. When you have a race where you haven't been on camera really much and you've got no cars around you, normally that's a good day.
That's right. And yeah, he's been making some steady progress, hasn't he?
Look at the team name, dude. Where's my floor? Very good.
I'll tell you what, bouncing over these curbs here at Imola, sometimes you'll be wondering where your floor of your car's gone.
I believe
it's worn out.
I believe that's a little tongue-in-cheek there because it's widely known that the Mercedes model does not have a floor. So that's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek there from Benny Wittner. But I like it. I like it.
Oh, definitely. Why not when we start to approach December and the holiday season?
Exactly right. Well, the talk is, of course, that if it keeps the current model the way it is and that, when the Nürburgring does pop into ACC, this will be the car to have.
Oh, well, yeah, that's it. Everyone will be in those Mercs around Nürburgring.
I won't be.
You'll be in your Nissan.
Yeah, yeah, like a hole in the head. Anyway,
Andy Bishop, back to the racing. So Andy Bishop in the Porsche, and he's doing a good job in the silver class as well. I think he could be running as high as 4th or maybe.
oh, you've just cursed him. Oh, you have.
I've given the commentator's curse. It was going to happen, and I'm sure I'm going to get some comments from them later on about that one as well. But
Oh, that was prime curse right there. That was top quality.
here we go. So the rounds of pit stops now for Cooley in.
12 seconds. Bang on the money.
So definitely you've caught it early and you've picked it. Definitely. And it comes right in the 30 minutes remaining. So right at the halfway point of this race. So he's got this timed to perfection.
Quite a bumpy pit lane as well. I just noticed. I didn't realise how bumpy that was.
Yeah, she's a bumpy little pit bay. I think the actual lane, the out lane's not too bad. But look, here we go. We've got the
Tonkin currently in sixth position.
Lamborghini.
All right, I'm just going to call it now.
I think he was just putting a lap actually on that Nissan. Sorry, I thought that was the position for a second.
Calling it now. Those wheels can just straight up get in the bin.
Yes, well, you know, the pink. Some drivers like to venture out in the pink if they can.
Oh look, the sort of off light blue and the pink works for me, but the pink wheels, not feeling that at all.
No, they almost look like a plastic matchbox toy, really.
Yeah, I'm getting those 80s Matchbox toy sort of car vibes for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Bit of Miami Vice.
Ah, yes. As Graham Hill pops in the chat, shocking wheels. Yep, thank you, Graham. Completely agree there, my friend.
Yeah, thank you, Law. Is in the also in the Twitch, mentioning that it was a pro level commentator's curse by myself. So well picked up there, my friend. Thanks for listening and watching. Hope you're enjoying this OOR race. There's the Sprint Series for Simrigs.
So we've just ticked over the halfway mark. A lot of these drivers are coming into the pits now. So we've got Hackey in the pits, we've got Hootmer in the pits, Hildebrand and Grant are making their stops. We've got Keys and Vittner, Rettori's in as well. So the pit lane is becoming a hotbed of activity. These drivers now will be making maybe some slight tyre pressure adjustments if they feel like it. But of course, within ACC, that is pretty much the only adjustment you can make in the pits. Of course, you can adjust your brake bias, your traction control as well, and also your ABS, but not much else you can change on these GT3 cars once you have locked your setup in, which makes the driving much more important as well. So be interesting to see where all this plays out once the field, we do get a bit of a cleansing of the field. As we're looking here, currently in first position and second position is Murphy and Ratucci, who still owe us a pit stop. So our top 6 still yet to stop. Keys, based on what I'm seeing on the timing board. Hang on. What's happening to Cooley? He's in the pits. Yeah, I was going to say, yep, got ya.
Yeah, so he's making his pit stop there. So it's all getting themselves all sorted again. As you said, Murphy and Raschuti have to pit. I thought Raschuti might have pitted that last lap to try and do the undercut, but obviously he elected to stay out. So we may see, if we don't see the Murphy coming in, we may see Raschuti elect to jump into the pits now. And there he goes.
That's a good call.
Pit lane. So he may get, if he does a good outlap here, as we all know, he may just find himself an easy position on Murphy once Murphy has his pit stop. And find himself, I think was Murphy third position? I think he was.
Yeah, it was the battle for third.
Pit stops. Yeah.
Here is our race leader, or
effective race leader.
Yep, I was trying to find that word. And we did sort of expect this with Curly. We thought pretty much if he does get out in front, he's pretty much going to have his own way with it. So not expecting, I don't want to say it's a fait accompli, but actually no, I am going to say it. It's done.
Okay, so it looks like these two may, but himself and Keys could bring home an Aston 1-2. But there's still, as you know, as we've said, there's still a long way to go. 25 minutes. It's basically a rookie sprint race yet to go, and we see what happens in a 25-minute sprint race. So there's bound to be a little bit more action and some things to talk about in the remaining part of this race.
Certainly, and if you are new to ACC and sort of you want to get involved, jump in the OOR Discord. We do have our rookie series, which is up and running as well, which is run on a Tuesday night. I am a graduate of the rookie class myself. So what about you, Holmes? Did you come through the rookies?
I'm still in the rookies because I've had back surgery, and I have had limited time actually in the game. So I had an enjoyable race here on Tuesday night, a little bit eventful race too, and got a little visit in the stewards room. But yeah, it's all the learning curve, and I'll tell you what, it's a great league to learn your racecraft, and a lot of guidance along the way as well. So yeah, definitely come on board, guys, if you're watching, and get on board with OOR as the Porsche comes in. And the Tic Tac, we saw this at the grid. I remember calling this a couple of seasons ago. It's one of my favourite liveries. I do like it, just because I do like a pop in a Tic Tac every now and then myself.
This is Pete Chalmers, of course. Of course, this livery is a throwback to the E30 DTM car, of course, with the Tic Tac livery. And everyone in chat, your favourite flavour Tic Tac? Mine, of course, it is orange flavour. It is the GOAT, and I don't want to hear otherwise.
No, you've got to love the orange, and just having the orange case as well. It's a child's enjoyment for a couple of hours actually after you finish your Tic Tacs and give them an orange Tic Tac case.
Certainly, and the peppermint ones can get in the bin. So of course, got a couple of big weeks coming up here in OOR as well. We just have a little bit of a lull in the race, so I believe next week we have qualifying, I believe, gets underway for the Spa 24-hour. Who is excited for that?
Yeah, let us know in chat if you are. I tell you what, this should be an absolutely sensational way to end the year of the Endurance Series, and credit to all the people involved in the background. There's so much that has to happen to make this event happen, and Spa 24 hours with qualifying starting on Monday. And I tell you what, I think it's going to be one of those most anticipated races of the season. And I tell you what, I'm looking forward to it, Sean, and getting amongst it. So I think you've got to be part of history here with OOR.
Certainly, and as an enduro nerd that I am, it is pretty much sim racing Christmas for me. So I am keen as a black jelly bean or a yellow jelly bean or a red jelly bean or a green jelly bean, whichever flavour jelly bean you like. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. You can probably hear in my voice, I'm pretty pumped about it. So cannot wait to get that underway. That, of course, is coming up on the weekend of December 9th. So strap in for we go twice around the clock around the fantastic Spa-Francorchamps circuit in the Ardennes in Belgium. Of course, a classic endurance racing track, as we are looking at Gandhi Huttemar at the moment, currently there in 17th position. Actually, just looks like he's closing on the back of Thistlethwaite here as well. So Thistlethwaite, after his really hard initial charge in the opening part of the race, has just maybe dropped off pace-wise a little bit. Maybe struggling a little bit with the GTR, doing its GTR things.
Yeah, hopefully he's got everything sorted when he came into his for his pit stop as well, and nothing sort of changed as far as his pressures or anything out of the ordinary. But yeah, it could be also just getting a little bit tired as well. Already 40 minutes into this race. Throw in the qualifying that they did earlier as well. Well, not quite 40 minutes into the race, we're getting there.
Oh, give or take 5 minutes. It's all good.
Yeah, but definitely he's given us a lot of excitement through this race, this Thistlethwaite with the Nissan, and has had a very solid race. Up into 15th There's a 15-second penalty, as we know, hanging on Mag's head as well. So if he keeps the pace going, he's obviously going to gain a position there as well. But it might be too early to talk about that at the moment, as we don't know if Mags has got the pace to pull away at this stage as well in that McLaren in position 13.
I do believe we have our field completely cleansed now at the moment. It's got a couple of drivers in the pits at the moment, but looks like our field has all come and served their mandatory. So we will run through the field very soon. As we are looking here at Thistleweight, currently in 15th position. Oh, geez, look, see the attitude there of the GTRs that come through the last part of Aqua Minerale. See, almost bottoming out as well. As Metalford gets a 5-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 20.
So a few more penalties coming out, and that's the driver that was in the Honda, I believe.
Okay, so we've got 2 drivers still yet to serve their mandatory. So it is Chalmers and Rochford who are yet to serve their mandatory. So they are running quite long as well. So they're going for the alternative strategy. Do love myself an alternative strategy, but once they do pit and the field does cleanse, it will be Cooley that is leading the way from Keys, Murphy, Ratucci, Vitnar, Rattori, and Sang. So Sang has made him his way up to 9th. So we did say he might get into the top 10. This has been a storming drive.
Yeah, well, that's basically position 7, because he should come out in front of Chalmers and Rochford with their pit stop yet to come. So it has been a storming drive. And he's not done yet. He's looking at that Lamborghini in front of him, and he can see the Mercedes of Vintiania as well. That could be a possibility. So could be exciting few laps between those 3 drivers.
Nothing. You're in a race. You're like, yep, I'm feeling good. I've got a great position here, and then you just see a gap from a car behind you that you think, yeah, I know he's faster, and the gap's just coming down and down and down. You're like, uh-oh. And you just start over driving a little bit, and then before you know it, fence.
Yeah, that fence, they're right on top of you as well, behind you, and causing more heartbreak. But yeah, I tell you what, they've got to give credit though. This guy, from high to low, and to stick with it. And that's the caliber of racing here at OOR2. You don't like to see the guys quitting out, and he kept at it. He knows he's got the pace, and he can come home feeling good about himself, and to see that he did have the pace to maybe challenge securely up front, and have this barnstorming drive right through the field. And he's probably enjoyed himself out there, Sean, to be honest. He would have been doing a lot of overtakes to get up to this position, and quite a lot of battles in between all that as well.
He certainly has. He's done a fantastic job, and he is up to 7th. You are right. What do we reckon? We're going to make a prediction here. I do like a good prediction.
I'd say 5th. I reckon he'll get Vintinia. Yeah. I reckon he might get the Merco. He's just flying at the moment.
He's fantastic paces. I think we all love a recovery drive. So, and this has been to go from first to last in the space of 1 lap, and then to work your way back up to 7th position. I'm calling it now. This is your driver of the day right here, as Brian Go gets a 10-second penalty for ignoring blue flags on lap 22.
Yeah, so I think even if he, we'll just see how he goes. Rashudi's up in position 4, only about 2.5 seconds by the looks of that screen there in front of position 5. But here we go. What are we looking at here? Oh,
this is what's it? Just Misty. Oh, that's a bit weird. Oh, that's very weird. That's just awkward.
That's my Tic Tac car all over the shot. I think he was coming out of pits there, and I think he was just a little bit awkward, and he's slowing down with these cars coming at pace into Tamburello, I think, and maybe threw these drivers out a little bit.
Yeah, that just looked awkward, didn't it?
It did look awkward. I'd like to watch it again, but we've got this live action that we need to keep watching. As all eyes is on Stang. No, we're all good. So
here we go. So here's the replay. So we've got the Falcon Porsche here. So Chalmers, I believe, just come out of the pit lane, and then the car behind has just gone super deep on the brakes onto the sand, and then the Falcon Porsche's come across there and then come back across. Whoa. I don't want to call it, but that looked like maybe a bit of a double move. But we'll let I'll let much smarter people than I work that one out. But yeah, it just looked awkward.
Yeah, it just looks like it's also got a little bit of a bobble. See coming over the curbs there for the Tic Tac car, and yeah, I think it's a hard one.
Yeah, that's a very difficult one.
And Kessler, he also did come out of that pit lane, didn't he, as well as the Tic Tac. So yeah, you've got to be mindful of these cars coming at pace down the main straight. They're coming at a rate of knots around 270 kilometres an hour. I may not be right there, but I know they get quite a lot of pace coming down there before they hit the chicane.
Well, it's a very tricky pit, as you were mentioning, a very tricky pit exit as well, because you're coming out, it's 50 kilometres down the pit lane. You hit the pit limiter and you're accelerating, but as you're accelerating probably third, fourth gear, they're coming in red hot, as you were saying, right into the braking zone. So it's one of the trickiest pit exits and entries in all racing, and especially in ACCs. We're looking as a battle here, saying he's going to try and fire it up the inside of Rattori, and he gets it done at Piratella. Oh, that's a move. That is a move.
That is a move of full commitment, full send. That has been the move of the day, I think, that we've seen.
Oh, that was fantastic from Sang. He's just locked up driver of the day now. What a move into Piratella. That is bold, brave, maximum commitment. Pat yourself on the back, sir. That was stunning.
Now, is the question, is there a possible podium? I know the competition's going to get tougher as he's going, but he's got 13 and a half minutes remaining, and he's just rounding these people up at a rate of knots.
This is what I like to call an angry drive. He's obviously, after his lap one incident, obviously got the eyes on, and this has been stormed through the field. What a drive this has been from Sang, with some fantastic overtakes as well. And I'll tell you what, Wittner is in his sights. He's got a bit of work to do with 13 minutes to go, but his pace is red hot at the moment. Can he close down that gap? And maybe a podium could be a stretch, but the way he's been driving, who knows?
Yeah, you don't know, but as you said, when you're up in front, if you are Vitinho at the moment, sort of looking, you're sort of just seeing that gap slow, like just, as the car goes exit state, right. You sort of start seeing that time just starting to get smaller and smaller, and as you said, you start pushing that little bit harder to keep that gap and catch a wheel off the grass around here, and you can say goodbye with that time you've got in front of the car behind you.
Keep an eye on that gap, and we'll keep a watching brief on that, because it is definitely coming down. Sang is on fire here, and he can see now. He's got the target in the gun sight.
He doesn't even have to look at his Delta, because he's got sights now on the Mercedes up in front, and that's all the encouragement he will need.
Well, that's it. Isn't it funny? You're doing laps, you're chasing someone, and then all of a sudden, as soon as you can see them, you find an extra 2-3 tenths out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's it. It's the James Hunt style, isn't it? You find those extra big balls, basically, and just go in that little bit harder, and you just keep pushing.
I think you might be right, though. I think he will catch you. I think you're correct.
Yeah, it's definitely spurred him on, that lap one incident, and he's had head down the whole 60 minutes, basically, so he's had a sensational drive, and it's not over yet.
Well, that's the other thing when you are in a recovery drive. It's such a balancing act between, it's controlled aggression. That's really what it is. So you're already angry, you're fired up, so you're driving angry, but it's been able to control that, not overdrive though, not make little mistakes, not fire it off into the weeds. And Sang has absolutely nailed this so far. This has been a beautiful drive. And look at that gap. It's set at 2.2. He's flying. He's flying.
Yeah. He's gaining a second and a half a lap, I think, if not more. This was the last view we saw earlier, and he was further in the distance. Now he's almost in the slipstream.
Now, I did say podium was out of the realms of possibility, but you know what? I'm shelving that for now, because who knows?
It'll be jelly beans all round if he can get the podium. That's what we'll say.
And a beautiful livery car. I do like that.
Yeah, you mentioned at the top of the show, actually, when we did the little, I think it was even in the qualifying, I think you mentioned how good that livery
It's the black
sort of pop.
It's the black, red and white. It just works on race cars.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
And,
look at the lap.
I think we're forcing that fastest lap as well. We've been talking Sang up, and he surely delivers.
Just drops a 40 flat race lap. That is low level flying. Vintner now will be just having a look in his rearview mirror going, oh boy.
Yeah.
Now, Vintner's a pretty smart operator. I reckon he might, I don't think he'll fight this too much. That's my gut feel.
Yeah, he'll be looking at points as well in this championship. He's in a good position at the moment. He's already made up positions from where he started on the grid, which I think was maybe just out of the 10. I can't be quite positive about that, but yeah, he'll drive smart though. He'll try and hold him up if he can. He's got the ability to, make that Mercedes fairly wide if he wants to. But when you've got a driver that's so, as you said, an angry drive, I think Vintinia would know what happened in lap 1 and know that the aggression will be here with Chris.
As we are on board now, we're saying heading down towards Ravazza. Vintner goes very defensive, saying he's going to try and go around the outside of Ravazza. I don't care how good you are, you're not pulling that one off. But gets a really good exit. Now, can he get in the slipstream of that Merc? That Merc is pretty rapid in a straight line with that big AMG V8. This BMW is no slouch as well. As he's in the slipstream, he pulls off towards the inside. Vintner, they're going to go side by side. This is at 230, 240, 250 kilometres an hour down into Tamburello. Sang's going to brake nice and late, and he gets the job done. So that's another position. He's up to 5th position now. Sang, this has been an unbelievable drive.
Yeah, very controlled overtake as well. He just got that car. He got it in the apex. He had the car there, and Vintinia had nothing he could answer there. He didn't park the car because he kept the momentum going, Sang, but he just had the car in the right spot there to stop any fight back from Vintinia in that Mercedes.
And I reckon he can see Bertucci as well. He can see him. Now he's got to find 3.8 seconds in 7 minutes and 16 seconds. Can he do it, chat? What do you reckon?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out what everyone's doing. Are you on the Chris Sang train at the moment, or are you still wanting to see Risciuti or Murphy stay in the positions that they currently hold? I tell you what, time will tell, but I think Risciuti will be a little bit nervous at this stage, but I don't think the podium's there now at the moment, Sean, but definitely a position 4 is a good possibility here for Chris.
Because he had that overtake and he also had just a little bit of lap traffic there to deal with. We won't count this lap. We'll count this one lap coming though. This will give us a real idea of whether he can catch Bertucci or not. As Graham Hill says, he reckons he will run out of time. It's going to be very close.
This is what we like about it's not an endurance race, but still 60 minutes is decent enough. And races can come alive in the last 2 or 3 minutes, or last 5 minutes, I'll say, of these races. It's always great to go the distance as drivers start to just lose a bit of concentration, get a little bit sore here or there. And the drivers that are on it, like Chris, just keep mowing them down. And he's just got the BMW firing up the hill here.
So we've got 5 minutes 40 to go. We'll quickly run through our top 10. So it is Cooley leading the way, 20 seconds to the good from Keys, Murphy. Then we've got Ratucci, there's Murphy. Another great drive. This has been a great drive from Murphy as well. I've been really impressed with this drive.
Oh yeah, he's had a lot of battles too to hold on to this podium as well. So yeah, great drive from Murphy.
Ratucci, he'll be looking in that rearview mirror. Here's Sang, who's been absolutely red hot. Vittner, Rattori. Nice drive from Rattori as well. Another quiet drive. Is White, who's another one who's just plodded along. Just get that Falcon Porsche running. And then Barker and Chalmers in the 10. So great drive from Peter Chalmers, who's in the top 10. Actually, this is a bit of a battle there. It is a battle at the moment. So Chalmers and Barker going at it here. So this is for that 9th position. So this is going to go down to the wire as well. So Chalmers has got the eyes on.
He sure doesn't. You got Mags behind him, but he's got that 15-second penalty, but that won't deter him. He'll want to be involved in this as well. And look at Chalmers having a look down. He'll be on the outside, but definitely putting a lot of pressure here at the moment on Barker. Barker's leading the Ferraris there in position 9 as well.
And we've got an Aston 1-2. Hashtag Aston is back. Then a Porsche, a Lamborghini, a BMW, a Mercedes, a Lamborghini, a Porsche, and a Ferrari. And then we've got a McLaren there in 11th position as well. What a fantastic mix of manufacturers as Chalmers goes super deep into Tamburello. How did he pull that up? I have no idea. And that has compromised the exit though.
I was going to say, those rear brakes were just squealing, I think. And I don't know, as you said, I don't know how he was controlling that to get that turned in at Tamburello, but he did. And he's back at it again. What's happening?
Oh, no. The timing board. It's all good. Hang on, no, the timing. No, Ratucci's had a problem. What's happened there?
Oh.
Yeah, Ratucci's dropped down to 6th position. Sag's in 4th position. What has happened?
Something he's obviously, as you were saying it, maybe he was just trying to keep that gap and maybe just got a wheel on the grass somewhere.
Look at the front end of that Lamborghini. That looks very second-hand.
Oh, yeah, it does too. You can almost put your suitcase in there.
Your Louis Vuitton suitcase, of course.
That's right. But yeah, well, definitely that's a big moment for Ricciuti. Now, can he hold on to this top 6 position? He's got a little margin there.
And he does have a margin, so he'll be nursing this thing home. That will not be very nice to drive. As I've driven the Lamborghini quite a bit, I know damage like that, the Lamborghini turns to an absolute bucket of bolts. It's horrible to drive with front end damage.
The Rattori behind him in the sister Lamborghini, I think maybe a little bit too far away. We've probably got to another 2 more laps remaining of this race, depending where Cooley is at the moment. He's just been another class at the moment of this race.
Would have been interesting to see if Sang didn't have his moment though. But that's something we can definitely look forward to for the rest of the season, because it's clear that yes, Cooley is very quick, but Sang has proven he's got some serious pace in that BMW. So hopefully, of course, next round we are off to the track also known as, I just call it Curbs, also known as Zolder.
Yeah, if anyone wants to make a poster of Zolder, I think you can be fairly safe to put Cooley and Sang, the Aston and the BMW, on the front cover, because I think it'll be battle stations.
Here we go.
And here we go. This is going to be what happened to Ricciuti.
So it comes through Tamburello. It looks all nice and smooth there. Now into Villeneuve. Yep, looks good. Or is he just... Oh, yeah, I thought so. Oh, bang.
Big moment.
They just caught that sausage on the first part of Villeneuve, and then once the Lambo starts sliding, it's so hard to pull it back, and that has really put paid to his race. That will be serious damage, and that'll allow I don't think Vintner's going to have much trouble here. Should be able to get this done pretty... Ooh, I thought Vintner would just flew up the inside there of Peritella, but he's had to wait a little bit. So we're going to roll along. Ritucci just pulls out of the way, thinks better of it, knew he had nothing to fight with.
Yeah, tapped out, knew better. You got quality drivers all around you. You knew that you wouldn't be able to hold on for the remaining part of this race. But here we go. We've less than 30 seconds remaining. And he's getting onto the back of Murphy, but it looks like we've got one more lap to go here, Sean. So, yes, we will. We'll have one more lap to go around here. So there's still possibility that Sang could get on the podium if Murphy has a little bit of a moment. We don't want to... I don't want to put a curse on Murphy at all, so I might have to keep quiet because I'll tell you what, it would be great to see the Porsche on the podium in this Ansett livery.
And how cool is that? We've got 3 different classes on our podium as well. So we've got Cooley, who's a pro. We've got Keys, who's a silver class driver, and Murphy, who is a pro-am. So fantastic mix of drivers and fantastic mix of skills as well. Got 2 Astons up the top, though. I'm sure we're going to hear about that all week. But driver of the day easily is Chris Sang. It's not even close. What a drive this has been. Just to remind everyone, he was stone motherless last at the end of lap 1.
And damage too. Would have been slight damage to that car as well, I'd say.
Would have definitely been a second-hand BMW. Hashtag real estate agent. But to drive back up to 4th position has been an absolute magnificent effort. He can hold his head up very high. He should be. These are the drives that you do after you finish. You're like, you know what? I'm pretty damn proud of that one.
Oh yeah, he's definitely earned himself a cup of tea or a nice cold beverage. But here we go for the winner of round 1 in red split at OOR Simrigs at Imola. It's Cooley. Well done to Chris in the Aston Martin, and he's got the meat snacks car going everywhere.
Well done to Chris Curley. Hashtag pro driver. But it's going to be Lucas Keys who's going to come home in 2nd position. So it is an Aston 1-2. The Aston is back, ladies and gentlemen. Great drive there from Lucas Keys. But Chris Murphy is going to get on the podium. Great drive there from Chris Murphy. Really great drive. Should be stoked with that one. Sang will finish in 4th. How? We've got no idea. But a great drive there from Sang. Vintner will finish in 5th position. Nice solid race there from Ben Vintner.
Yeah, awesome job. Definitely. That's a good drive. And condolences to Rashuti as well. He had it, that position 4. It dropped it. And then Ridatori, that's a good job there in position 7. Yeah.
White will finish there in 8th position. Chalmers nearly got on the back of White. Jeez. So Chalmers had a storming last half of the race. So,
I just think he got caught up a little bit when he came out of the pits as well. So he may have just got White if he didn't have that problem on his pit exit. But here we go as we filter on through the rest of the grid. And we've got the penalties involved with Mags as well. So he's going to drop a few places as well, probably down into position 12.
Barker will finish in 12th, Thistlethwaite in 13th. Taufik there will finish in 16th position. I'm just going to go, we'll say 17th, 16th as the session. But that is round 1, split red. Simrigs.com sprint racing action from Imola, run and done. What a fantastic race that was. That had plenty of action and drama.
Yeah, well, if that's how it's going to be for the rest of the season, I'll tell you what, you don't want to miss a round. And as you said, we go to Zolder next week. Oh, that's going to have some sparks flying around there as well. But congratulations to Cooley on a sensational run. And it was a great drive by him.
We will check our race results once they pop along on screen. Kunos just doing Kunos things. Here we go. So our overall was Cooley, Keys, Murphy, Sang. is our podium. Silver class was Keys from Vintner, Thistlethwaite, Sanakos, Bishop, Brown, Tonkin and Jusman. Pro-Am was Murphy, Rattori, White, Chalmers, Doe, Rochford, Powell, Matterford, Thurcolini and Hisu. And our AN class drivers was Hackey, Bonham, Lau, Gray, Grant and Crick.
Yeah, so that grip was also in a Nissan as well. I didn't notice that, but
Yeah, it was actually a retro livery. He'd done it based off an old GTR. So there was our overall. So it was Chris Curley from Lucas Keys, Chris Murphy, Sang, Vintner, Rachucci, Rattori, White, Chalmers, and Doe are your top 10. Driver of the day definitely goes to Chris Sang. But other than that, final thoughts there, Neil?
well, I just really enjoyed that race, and we called out that Sang may have taken that driver of the day, and he really did prove to become that driver of the day and the fastest lap along the way as well. But my thoughts were out to Rashuti, really, to tell you the truth. I thought that he may have been able to hold on to that fourth position in that Lamborghini, and that just tells you how simple that can go away. We've just taken too much curb there at Tamburello, I think it was, and exit stage left for him. But yeah, sensational race. I really enjoyed it.
Excellent. So make sure, of course, we've got Split Europe and, of course, NA coming up later on this evening or earlier in the morning. Do we? We don't. I think we do. Pretty sure we do. So make sure you stick around that. And, of course, next week we will be back for round 2 from Zolder. But you have been watching Simrigs.com Sprint Series on Octane Online Racing. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Cheerio.